Hello.
Good evening, everyone. We will begin shortly. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Abidoye. Hi, how are you? This is Mia from Brooklyn Community Board 9. You should have received an email from our office regarding your participation at the meeting this evening.
Yes, I got an email.
Yeah, you should have received one earlier today.
Oh. I don't see one. Am I not supposed to be at this one?
Correct.
Oh, sorry.
Plant-based LLC. Yeah.
Yes.
I'll re-forward the email to you. And you and I will connect tomorrow morning.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Take care and have a great evening.
Have a good evening.
Evening, Mia. Maya.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, all. Happy New Year.
Good
Happy
evening.
New Year. Happy New Year. Happy holidays.
Happy
Same
New Year,
to you.
everyone. Good to see you. So it looks like we have a packed house. Mia, do you think I'm good to go ahead and start?
Yeah, you should be good to go.
Okay, awesome. All right. Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year again. I hope that this new year brings you all good fortunes. We have a packed agenda for tonight, and what makes this meeting different is that we're going to start. We're going to begin our review of OCM applications today. So the point of this meeting is not set for us to speak on all of the legal shops that are in the neighborhood. We're going to be voting on these applications that are coming before us, and it's imperative that we stick to that agenda. We are aware of the illegal smoke shops in the neighborhood, and you all can report illegal shops to OCM and through the NYPD. And if you go on the CV9 website under resources, you will find the link to the Office of Cannabis Management website. I also want you all to look at this as an opportunity to have a higher level of regulation by inviting these applicants into our spaces, right? We will be spending no more than an hour on these will be 3 OCM applications. So I ask that you limit your questions and thoughts to 2 minutes, and that we keep our questions within the scope of the actual questionnaires. So firstly, we will be starting off with our SLA applicants. Before we get to that, I wanted to share an update regarding the applications that came to the committee on December 18th.
Excuse me. Who are you? Are you the chair?
I am the chair of public safety. Yes.
Did
Hi.
you just get appointed, or you've always been there?
No, I've been...
Alicia, Janelle Bates.
I'm sorry?
She's been the chair since September.
Oh, okay. Okay, because we were looking for you at the general board meeting.
Well, nice to meet you as well. Sorry, just got sidetracked. So, I was mentioning before that the applications that we were reviewing on December 18th, that we were not able to vote on due to not having quorum. The board waived those applications. So those applications are going straight to the SLA. So I believe we can go ahead and start. We have 1 renewal and 2.
I would like to, excuse me, point of, Mia, can I speak? I would like to quickly revisit the old business. And it asks, request that, can anybody hear me? You hear me? Oh,
Yes.
okay. And request that Madam Chair gives an update on the applicant's application for 1017 Nostrand Avenue. There was an incomplete application. It was missing information. And we are requesting a ruling on that. So again, I would like the chair to give an update on that application. It's missing information. The application was incomplete. And I understand that you didn't have quorum, but I want you to explain what happened on that specific application.
Yeah, so I
And
can,
actually, I would like, if possible, I don't know the process. If you could put if we could put a motion to have the applicant complete the application, and include the missing information. I'm sure they'll, from what I saw and heard, they seem to be very nice people. I'm sure it was just an oversight. They made a mistake, but the application was incomplete.
so as I mentioned before, and like Primo or Mia, please feel free to chime in if you all want. The board, because we did not have quorum, we did waive those applications, so we're not voting on them. They're going straight to the SLA.
So I could just add a little bit more information, which is just that Fred met with the applicants. Many folks expressed concerns about their ability not to be heard by the SLA. Those were similarly expressed at the meeting by the general public. And Fred shared a letter explaining the circumstances to the SLA. If you have any questions about that, you can go directly.
Okay, I just wanted everyone to know, all of the community, as well as the Public Safety Committee to know that they were in violation of the 200 and the 500-foot state liquor law authorities regulations.
Appreciate that. We were in receipt of your email, and also looked into the 500 and 200-foot rule. I think two other points of clarity. The 500-foot rule only applies to businesses that are have liquor licenses, so not liquor stores, but bars and restaurants.
I understand that, and if you revisit that email, you'll see we're talking about bars as well as liquor stores.
Yes, and
Any-
so I saw
Any
that.
business that is currently operating and dispensing alcohol.
So only, just to be clear, it's only bars and restaurants. So you did have some liquor stores in your
Right,
list.
and we're talking about 1017 Bijou, which is an
Correct.
applicant for a bar.
Correct. That's
Correct,
correct.
as well as the 200, a church, Gethsemane, the Seventh-day Adventist Church on Empire Boulevard.
That's correct.
Speak
And that
for me.
applies.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted everyone to know that.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Miss Barnes.
yeah,
And always
thanks.
appreciate your feedback. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to ask that everyone respectfully wait to be recognized by the chair before unmuting themselves and speaking this evening. Thank you.
Thank you,
I
Mia.
just wanted to go before I wanted to do old business. Sorry, Mia.
Thank you, Ms. Barnes. Janelle?
Yep, so I think that we're gonna go ahead and move on with the agenda, just because we have a really packed agenda for the evening. So we're gonna start off with the SLA applications. Do we have IX?
Can I ask a question for clarity about the same old business?
Ms. Westerdahl, please, could you respectfully wait to be recognized by the chair and not
Going to be
unmute?
a
She's
time
proceeding
to
with the
talk about
agenda.
that?
Thank
I mean, two people.
It sure will. Thank
Do we have old business on the agenda, Janelle?
No, we do not. We do not have it on the agenda.
But there'll be a time to field questions for applicants that are not on the agenda later in the agenda. So let's respectfully not take up time for applicants that have joined us this evening. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we have IX Restaurant. It's located at 43 Lincoln Road. It's a renewal. The hours of operation is Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., Friday, Saturday, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m., Sunday, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Do we have the representative present with us this evening?
Yes, I'm Sandra Hong. I'm here present, represent the IX Restaurant.
And
Awesome.
I'm here too, Anna Prince.
Awesome. So at this moment, we just asked you to talk a little briefly about your establishment, what you're bringing to the community. I know that this is a renewal, so if you can just keep it brief, that would be great. And then after you speak, community resident members and board members have an opportunity to ask you questions.
Right. I'm gonna speak first. I'm gonna pass the floor to Ms. Anna Prince later on, just to talk briefly about her location. So this is gonna be on a renewal for our hard liquor license. Why keep it the same method of operation, like the way you are expressing right now? This is only a Guatemalan Imagine Cuisine restaurant. So in this business for several years, we actually have like 17 tables at 58 chairs. We currently employ like 9 employees, and we only recording music. As far as I heard so far from Mrs. Anna Prince, I never heard any complaint from the SLA, nor any complaints from the police present. They have been good neighbors for the past few years. I mean, they open for 7 days a week. Never had a complaint from any customers. And I just would like to pass the floor to Ms. Anna Prince if you'd like to say something else about her business.
Hi all, Happy New Year. My name is Ana Prince. I'm the owner of Ish Restaurant. It's the first Guatemalan restaurant featured in the New York Times twice. We win in Telemundo and a couple other, Theater Time Out and other magazines. We are, what people say that we are very good neighbors. We don't play, live music. We don't go extra hours. We have no complaints from the prison, no complaints from the neighbors. And actually they say that we are, an anchor to the neighborhood. And, we're very happy to be here. We serve the community and, in any way we can. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have one question for you all. Has there ever been any like noise complaints or any reports, police reports that have been filed at your establishment?
None.
Now that we know, and also upstairs, there's like empty apartment, so it's nobody upstairs. But we never have any complaints.
Okay, thank you. Teresa, I see you have your hand up. Would you like to ask the applicant a question?
Oh, no, I had my hand up before wanting to talk about the old business.
Okay, well,
IX is great. I just want to say, and I would approve them.
okay, thank you. Zhang, I see you have your hand up. Do you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. I don't know if this is the appropriate time, but I seen that Primo Lasana was speaking earlier. As me being the secretary taking on notes, I just want to know who he is, please.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. My name is Primo Lasana. I am a community board member, and I am the first vice chair of Community Board 9.
First vice chair of Community Board 9. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks, Zhang. Okay. At this moment, are
Chair of this committee, so he's very good at it. Thank you.
there any, Alicia, I see you have a question.
It has always been the job of the committee to reach out to the precinct and not depend upon the applicant to verify if any complaints have been filed.
So
Has this committee, can
the board-
I please finish? Thank you. Has this committee looked at each one of these applicants, especially the renewing applicants? Have you reached out to the community board, to the precinct, the local precinct, and found out if they have had complaints or not? Because it's not the applicant's responsibility, that's our responsibility to ensure that that's the case.
Thank you for that
That's
point,
the
Alicia.
question.
And I would just clarify with Mia that it has been the community board office's responsibility to do that in the past. And Mia, can you confirm that you have been in contact and have checked for complaints against all of the applicants today?
That is correct, Primo. The renewal application, there are no incidents to report. And of course, for new applicants, the business is not currently up and running, so they wouldn't have a history. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you for that clarification. I appreciate it.
Thank you. So if there are no other questions, I move to recommend this application for renewal to the SLA. Is there a second?
Hello? Yeah, this is.
Hello?
Can I ask a question? Are we going to discuss the cannabis application today?
Good evening, Mr. Kasim. You are on the agenda and will be heard shortly. Thank you.
Thank you.
We need a second from a committee member.
I second. Okay. How are we supposed to do this?
Do you have quorum? Because I didn't see anybody take roll call to determine if you have quorum.
Mia, if you could, thank you for that point, Ms. Boyd. Mia, if you could just do a quick run through of our attendance tonight and confirm that we have quorum, that would be incredibly appreciated.
Sure thing, Primo. Just let me get the roll up, okay? Thank you.
And thank you for appreciate it.
Not a problem, guys.
Janelle, maybe now it could be helpful just to run through the agenda so folks know kind of what the order of operations of our meeting will be tonight while we wait on Mia to go through attendance. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. So everyone, so what we're going to do is that we're going to start off with the SLA applications, and there's about 3 SLA applications, and then we're going to the OCM applications. There are also about 3, and then once we're finished with that, we're also going to talk about what planning for some community engagement events will look like in so that will be the agenda, and then after that the floor is open for any questions, concerns, and for us to discuss any old business.
Sorry for the delay, guys. Just give me one moment. I just had to log into the work email.
Okay, this time. And from a process perspective, Janelle, it sounds like you were planning to vote on each application after the applicant shares, correct?
Yes, that is correct. We're going to vote on all of the applications once the representatives of all the community resident members and board members ask their questions, and obviously once the applicant finishes speaking.
Okay, guys, whenever you're ready, I'm ready. Javi Cohen.
Present.
Javi. And your vote for the application?
I'm present. What did you say?
And your vote for the application?
It's a yes.
Thank you. Yishro Lehrer? Yishro Lehrer? Zlati Monchkin?
Yes, I vote yes. I was there last night. Looks like a very fine establishment. Looking forward to going back again.
Thank you very much. Carmen Martinez? Carmen Martinez? I see she is here. She may be away. Zhang?
Yes, I'm present.
And your vote for the application?
Yes.
Thank you. Zhang Jinjai?
Present, I vote yes.
Mr. Ronald Banks?
I wasn't here for the entire presentation, but yes, I'll
Understood.
vote yes if the group has already surmised that it's a worthy application. Yes.
Understood. Okay, Janelle, back to you.
Okay, awesome. So it looks like this application will be approved. So Mia will be in touch with you. Yeah, so now we can move on to the next applicant. So the next applicant is Joseph Dreamberger. So this establishment is located at 333 Kingston Avenue. It's a new liquor license. The hours of operation are Monday through Thursday, 12 p.m. to 12 a.m., Friday through Saturday, 7 p.m. to 1 a.m., and then on Sunday from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. Do we have the representatives here with us this evening?
Yes, I'm right here. My name is
Okay.
Robert Hull.
Awesome. So at this moment, you can tell a little bit about your establishment. And then once you do, community resident members and board members have the opportunity to ask you questions.
Of course. Well, good evening, Community Board 9. My name is Robert Hull. I'm with Michael Kelly Inc., representing Joseph Dreamberger. I'm here with Zachary Yarmak and Israel Yarmak, two of the four owners. Like you said, this is a eating place and beer license application for Joseph Dreamburger CH Inc., DBA Joseph Dreamburger. We're located at 333 Kingston Avenue between Union and President Street. This license will allow us to sell only beer for on-premise consumption. We're in a commercial building with no residents. There's no outdoor seatings. And the only thing that you did say, our hours of operation will be Sunday to Thursday, or no, I'm sorry. It'll be 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. Sunday to Thursday, and then 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. on Sunday, and we'll be closed on Fridays. And then we have 18
No,
tables.
there's something wrong with that.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing you are, Ms. Boyd, which is just a point of clarity in your application. I think you perhaps misspoke. It is open until 1 a.m. on Saturdays.
Yes. I apologize. I missed that part. But we will have 18 tables with 72 seats. This is a service bar, and we'll be having 10 to 12 employees. Most, if not all, will be from the immediate area. We're going to be having background music, and it's a kosher restaurant. Our menu consists of burgers, sandwiches, and wraps. And two of the owners that aren't here at the moment opened up the first restaurant, which is Ella's Burger Corp, in April of 2013 at 1899 Coney Island Avenue in Brooklyn. And they currently have a service wine and beer. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask.
Are there any questions at this moment? Alicia?
You mentioned that the owners have another location.
Yes.
And where's that location at? And what are the questions?
It's 1899 Coney Island Avenue in Brooklyn.
Oh, so it's not in this community?
No.
That you know of, just asking if you know of, have there been any complaints levied against that business?
No, we haven't had any complaints that we know of.
Thank you.
Of course.
Teresa, I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, hi. I'm just wondering, you said you have no, how close are the nearest residential buildings, and how big are they, and how close are they?
Zach or Israel, would you guys know that by any chance? How far the nearest residential area would be?
So hi, thank you so much for taking us, guys. Looking forward, and it's nice to meet all of you, and thank you for the community board for your time and energy that you put into our community. It's greatly appreciated. From myself, who lives in your community, and I'm sure from many others who don't even know how much you guys put into it. In regards to the residential area, so we're on a street called Kingston Avenue. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with that street, but it is the main street, at least of our small community of Crown Heights. It's where all the other restaurants are located on. I mean, I'll say almost all of the other restaurants are located on, all of the building, offices, etc. There are some residents that live second floors. In terms of the nearest building, residence building, I think that's what the question was.
Yes.
I'm trying to just think where the closest one would be, because President doesn't have any buildings. There is one dormitory on 1414, which is on the corner. But that I think would be the closest. And that's 1414.
Yeah, okay, I'm not sure, I'd have to look, but I guess my concern is just a frequent concern that we have here is we don't want to hear afterward from people that the noise or the smoking, the drinking, whatever happens, is disturbing people from getting sleep or kids going to school. You understand, because we've had some that have been quite bad in our community, and we just want to avoid that, and just hoping that you can do your business and not disturb the neighbors. And it sounds like there's nothing near you, so I don't see how that could happen. Is that true? There's no residents nearby?
There are residents that live on, there are some second floors that have residents on the block, but the main majority of the block is full of commercial area. There's another
So
restaurant.
above your spot, there's nobody living upstairs.
Nobody
in the building.
Nobody lives in the building, that's correct.
Oh, great. Okay.
And 100%, I'm with you, Tara. We don't want to disturb any of the kids from going to school or anybody sleeping. That's our main priority, and our goal is to have a beautiful establishment that we can serve our community. Kosher food, of course, as Robbie mentioned, and hopefully you guys can all come try it.
Thanks, Teresa. Ronald, do you have your hand up? Go ahead.
Yeah, I just have a question for clarity. One, are there any schools or houses of worship nearby? And second, when you say the building's empty, is that because it's not occupied yet? Or will it, I can't picture the building right now. When you say it's a commercial space, is it strictly for businesses, or will it be occupied by residents at some time?
So I'll answer for the schools and churches, not within 200 feet, there are none, no. But Zach, if you can answer that second portion of the question for Ronald, please.
Yeah, sure. I think if I heard correctly, I'm sorry, it cut out there for a second for me, but if you ask me why the building is empty, it's only a two-floor building, and we have both floors.
Thank you.
No problem.
Are there any other questions?
Yeah, I just have one more.
Okay, you can go ahead.
So we need to just clarify some parameters here, because it's my understanding that it's 500 feet. It's not 200 feet, but 500 feet from a place of worship and a school where children go. So can we just get some clarity? Because he said 200.
I'm happy to provide some clarity. It's a good question. And we were just looking into this because of the email that Maxine Barnes sent to us. And so there are two rules. There's a 500-foot rule and there's a 200-foot rule. So the 500-foot rule is that you cannot have 3 establishments with liquor licenses that are serving liquor next to like within 500 feet of each other. So it's about density of like bars and restaurants that are serving liquor. And then the 200-foot rule is about houses of worship, and it's specific to places that are full-time houses of worship. So just a point of clarity there to make, because sometimes you have storefront kind of, churches or synagogues or whatever that may have multiple floors, or it's only active on Sunday, etc. So the 200-foot rule applies to full-time houses of worship. So I hope that provides some clarity.
Yes, thank you.
Sure. Great question.
Awesome. Are there any other questions? Maxine, I see you have your hand up. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I was gonna clarify the 200, 500-foot rule as well. But I do have a question, and that is, although there is no residence tenants above the establishment, what about behind it? Not only private homes, rentals, apartment buildings are also in the equation, and they should not be disturbed, as well as private homes. So to summarize my question, there are no apartment buildings, it's just completely a commercial strip. What's behind it?
Zach or Israel, do you know exactly?
Yeah, I was just jumping on, sorry. It's hard to unclick the mute button each time.
No problem.
There is residents behind, like it's a main street, so behind the address, there is residents, people who are very friendly with currently. Actually, some of my very close friends that I know happens to be that we got the location in front of them.
So it's a family street. Everyone's in agreement. You're above, and all your friends and family are in the apartment buildings, private homes adjacent to you. Okay, I haven't Googled it. I guess someone has. We'll look.
Yeah, it's the other, so the street, like, because it's a commercial street, it's kind of facing, it's hard to explain, but it's facing forward. And then when you go into the street and you turn the corner, that would be a residential street. It's called President Street.
And if I could just add in, we won't be using any type of backyard either, so we don't plan on making much noise. And for me, for noise wise, we are going to be having just background music.
Okay, thank you.
That's
What
correct.
about parking? What about the density on that commercial corridor, Kingston Avenue? What's that like?
It's actually pretty decent. Having, driven down there quite some time. The only challenge is that you have to pay for parking on the street up until 7 p.m. So it's city meters.
No, I'm not worried about the meters. I'm worried about the congestion.
I find parking each time I go there.
So I think we're gonna take one more question and then we're gonna have to move on with this application. Alexander P, I see you have your hand up. You can go ahead and ask your question, then we're gonna vote on this applicant.
Thank you. Well, this question is more for the community board. That 200 rule, it's since when is that? It's being active.
I'm unaware of when it went into effect, but I can say that it is currently in effect. It is also something that is adjudicated by the State Liquor Authority. So we can say notes to the State Liquor Authority. It is ultimately the State Liquor Authority's job to revoke licenses based on this. We make our recommendations as a community, and that is our job. And it is their job to take those measurements and make those effects. And I think if you are a licensee who is in violation of that, that can be a very serious kind of miss basically on your record. It would be very hard to establish business in this community board again if you are in violation of one of those rules and found to be so by the State Liquor Authority.
I was just curious because I only knew the 500 rule, so I was just curious.
Yep.
So the
Thank you.
200-foot rule actually came into play in 1933, and it only really affects liquor license, not wine or beer. That's what the main thing is with that one.
We've got a representative on the call, so but
Thank you.
yeah. Thank you for that point of clarity, Robbie.
Oh, of course.
Question, and Chair Basil Charles, I pass it back to you.
Awesome, thank you. So I move to recommend this application for approval to the SLA. I'm gonna call out everyone's name and then just cast your vote. Kavi? Kavi? You're on the line.
Yeah, hi, I'm sorry. The application is for Joseph Berger. I'm a little bit confused. The application for Joseph Berger, yeah, I don't seem to have a problem with it. That's fine, yes.
Okay. Zlati?
Yes.
Carmen? Carmen? She on the line?
Yes. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm in another meeting as well, so I'm trying to jump in when needed. Thank you.
You're
Yes.
absolutely- Zhang?
Maxine Barnes, she made a point as far as the residents that were behind the establishment. Because I don't have any information to see how they'll be affected, I cannot vote yes.
Okay. Ronald?
Just for the record, is that an abstain vote or is it a no vote?
That's an abstain vote.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ronald?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Mia will be in touch with you all. Thanks so much. So the next applicant is Rodeo.
I didn't get a called upon to vote. Sorry.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
it's for the community board. Sir.
Yes, Israel, you can go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yes,
When we voted
my vote's
before, you
yes.
weren't here. So, okay, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Thank you so much. Have a great night. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, so we're going to move on to our next applicant, Rodeo Brooklyn LLC, located at 1134-1136 President. This is a new liquor license. The hours of operation is from Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. to 2 a.m., Friday, 5 p.m. to 2 a.m., Saturday from 2 p.m. to 2 a.m., and then on Sunday from 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. as well. Do we have the representatives with us this evening?
Yes, we do. Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year.
Evening. The floor is yours.
Great. So my name is Anthony Carabello. Thank you all for your volunteer service to the community, looking out for your neighbors, and the quality of life for your neighbors and the residents in the area. I'm joined by Jameson and Sam Geller. They will be the applicants here for this premises. It is located on on 1134 President Street, which is off the corner of Rogers. The establishment's hours were already indicated. Jameson is a resident of the area. He lives a couple of blocks away, actually. He's lived there for a while. And Sam is also a Brooklyn resident. So essentially, this will be a full liquor license, and the hours of operation, again, were indicated previously. And we would be glad to address any questions the community might have. I might note that a proper posting was done in the proper protocol on December 20th. Signatures were obtained from people directly in the area. Signatures also obtained from people in the building. I know the prior presentation, that was a specific question. So there was 3 tenants in the actual building that signed and are well aware of this establishment. Both Sam and Jameson have extensive experience in the industry. They've worked in food and beverage. So it'd be delightful to answer any questions the committee might have. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I do have a question. I noticed that the hours of operation go pretty late and on the weekdays and weekends, and you will not have security personnel on the premises. Is there like a reason why?
So great question, and we anticipated this. So during the week, they don't necessarily want to stay open till 2. They just want to have the opportunity to stay open. But we would be glad to work with the community and lower those hours for Sunday through Wednesday, if that would be okay. We would be glad to close an hour earlier, just to show that we're willing to work with you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Let's see. Teresa, you have your hand up.
What's the name of the place again? And what's the premise?
So it's called Rodeo Brooklyn.
Rodeo?
Yeah, it will be a bar lounge. There will also be a record shop. It consists of 2 storefronts. There was previously a coffee shop there and other retail. I believe it was a plant store. And they will continue to have a record shop on the left-hand side in the front. And the rear portion of that area in the premises will be for like events and not so much the everyday method of operation. So there will be a lounge / cafe with a full liquor license. That's the goal.
And the music situation?
Yeah, so they have purported live music, recorded music, and karaoke, but that will be specific to the left side of the premises when they have an event. So the right side of the premises, that won't be a standard part of their method of operation. It'll solely be on the left side, and they anticipate whatever they can book, fortunately. They anticipate having activities like poetry reading, birthday parties, activism events in the neighborhood. So that will be relegated only to the left-hand side. And they anticipate our projection is maybe 2 a month. So it's not going to be a significant part of what they're doing. The right-hand side, which is the everyday operation, will not have that as part of their method of operation.
And the record shop already exists?
No, the record shop will exist.
Are you gonna have the people that are running this come to a meeting?
They are here now.
Oh,
They're
I want
tonight.
yeah. I'd just like to hear more about it. I guess one of the biggest concerns we always have is, people starting a venue and then the establishment has, the PA, it isn't properly insulated, or they become so raucous that the neighbors complain and are disturbed. We would just like a community type spaces that are friendly to the community.
That's fair. I can have them speak to that, Sam or James.
Hi. My name's Sam. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Yes.
you. I might
It's
also just quickly make the point that you attached a noise mitigation plan to this application, and I think it would behoove you to speak to that.
That's
likely is
that's
a
what I
lot
was
of.
about to speak to. So, first of all, it's an honor to be here. This is my first time attending a community board meeting. It's really exciting. So yeah, as I think what you were just referring to is that in the space where events will take place, we are going to have extensive soundproofing put in place in the ceiling, in the walls. It's really important to us to maintain really good relationships with the upstairs neighbors, the next door neighbors. And also it's just really important, like we're kind of audio nerds a little bit, or I am, and so like for me, the right kind of environment that I like to enjoy in is not a really loud one, but it's actually like it's better for me to hear music at a very like clear volume where you can have a conversation next to you, but you have speakers set up. We're going to have some really nice speakers set up that can really like create a nice ambiance at a lower volume, but also we're going to invest pretty heavily in making sure that the sound system is very protected from bothering the community or the neighbors.
Thank
All right.
you.
I hope that's true. Thank you very much, because we don't want to have to hear about the business later on. That's all. We want you to be successful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. Alicia, I see you have your hand up.
Yes, just for a point of clarity, and I kind of know this answer, so I just wanted to know, what's your zoning over there? What's the zoning over there? It's a
So it's
commercial
commercial.
overlay. But what's
Yeah,
the
we submitted, I believe, with our submission, some DOB documents. It's commercial, it's retail space. So
I
the-
asked you what the zoning is, sir. I didn't ask you to describe to me that it's commercial. I already know that. What is the zoning? That's a very specific question.
Okay, let's see. I mean, while I look for this, the zoning is what they want to do there is permitted and allowed, of course.
Sir, I'm asking a very specific question because you're asking for a very specific thing. And there's a law about it. And I'm trying to figure out if you are allowed to do it based upon the zoning. Can you tell me what the zoning is, please?
I can, I'm getting into it right now. Okay, so it's S9 residence multi-use.
That's not a zoning category, sir. It's a commercial overlay. So it's a C1, a C2, a C3. That's
C, sir. It'd be a C.
a C what? That's very important. Okay, so he doesn't know. It's okay, we could find out. But let me just explain something to you. And we will challenge this if you agree to it. We will not allow live music in this place. A C1, you must get an application from BSA in order to have live music in the C1 district. This is a low residential district. There's a lot of residential apartments around here. It's not a heavily trafficked commercial strip. And the law requires, and I could, if you want to, sir, I can send you the law if you want to give me your email, that you cannot have live music in a commercial overlay in a specific commercial district. So please check that. And I will send updates to the community board and basically state very clearly that you cannot allow this applicant to talk about performing in violation of the law. Second thing, and everybody the people who know me know I don't play. I follow up, okay? The second
Ms.
thing.
Boyd, very quickly, sorry to interrupt you, but it's a R6.
Oh, then they definitely can't do it.
R6.
The R6 portion is facing the 241 Rogers portion of the building. I'll get back to you, but it's not.
It's not okay. Then they definitely cannot do live music in the R6 zone. That's a residential zone. You cannot do that. So that should be stricken from the application. That's the first thing. The second thing is I'm very, very concerned about and I will send you the regs. Guys, I will send you the regs. I'm very, very concerned that you want to be open to 2 a.m. in the morning on a Sunday night when people have to get up in the morning. I think
we don't want to be open till 2 a.m.
Well, you're asking for, excuse me. See, I can't with applicants. Applicants want something. They put it on writing. Then that's what we have to deal with. We're not dealing with what you claim you're going to do. We're dealing with what you will be allowed to do. 2 a.m. on a Sunday night in our community is not reasonable for us. It's not reasonable, especially with a full liquor license, plus 2 storefronts. So you have a very large venue. I didn't even ask you what your square footage is, but you know, that's a large venue that you're going to have. And I'm completely against the fact that it would be 2 a.m. in the morning in a highly residential neighborhood that you will be allowed to play live music on a Sunday to 2 a.m. So I would suggest that it goes down to 10 a.m., 10 p.m., and I would ask that this community board push for that 10 p.m. on a Sunday so that this business is not disturbing the residents' peace and quiet, which is a very, very residential neighborhood. Thank you.
Thanks,
And
Ms.
I will,
Boyd.
and CB9, I will get you the regs about the R6 so that you will see the regs where it says they cannot have live music. And that will then help to enforce, hopefully, this application and say that that cannot happen at this location. And trust me, sir, if you do have live music in our community with an R6 zone, we will file. Trust me, we will file complaints against this business.
We want to give everybody the opportunity to ask questions, so we have.
That's it, I'm done.
Can I
wanna-
make a rebuttal, or we're gonna wait for everybody to speak?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for those comments, Ms. Boyd. Chair Charles, if I may, just one just around process. It is the Department of Building certainly plays a role in this process. And so, Ms. Boyd, encourage you to follow up with us, send us those documents as you suggested. We appreciate it. And then what we can do is also be in contact with Department of Buildings, right? And then I did want to just name that the applicant offered to reduce their hours to 1 a.m., but to Ms. Boyd's point, we would need to have that in writing. And so if we are going to have a reduction in hours and any vote is going to be taken on it, I just want to make the point that it would need to be a rider to any vote, that it would necessitate the application being in writing. So I hope that
That's
Just-
fair. If I can respond, first and foremost, we will not do anything that's not permitted by the law. So whatever they intend to do, they will do it with appropriate and proper approvals. Secondly, regarding the DOB and the use of the premises. Secondly, we're certainly willing to work with the community on Sunday. That's not an issue. So we've already reduced our hours, and Sam and Jameson, please confirm that you want to work with the community and you will reduce your hours. That's not an issue with us.
Yeah,
So that's
absolutely.
in response to the two things.
Absolutely.
Of course, absolutely.
10 p.m.
Okay.
Well, no,
May I
I would
speak
say we offered one. I would say on Sunday, if you guys are okay with midnight to even show more support to Ms. Boyd, I think that's a fair compromise.
Yeah,
It's a
absolutely.
little early. 10, quite frankly, is a little early, but we're willing to go to midnight on Sunday pursuant to your request.
Okay, for the essence of time, we're only going to take 2 more questions. Lati, I see you have your hand up. You can go ahead.
My question was just if they were going to have live music, so I guess we went through that. Sam and Jameson, we stopped by the place last night. We peeked through the windows. Looks great. It's not that big of a square footage. We were wondering where you would put the live music. If you do have live music, I'll be right there. I'm very excited about that. But if you have liquor, that's good enough for me too. I was a very big user of the coffee. I was at the coffee shop all the time. So good luck, and it's a great location.
And my last interjection, I promise. So also, I want to remind everybody that music will only be for events, and it's in the back of the record shop. So it won't disturb people. It's going to be in the back, and it's not going to be so often. I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
It's just
Okay.
not allowed.
Okay.
Maxine, I see you have your hand up. You can go ahead. That will be our last question.
You know what? I have to interject here because we have people that are on this committee that are not able to speak because other people that are not on this committee are taking so much time speaking. And I've been raising my hand from the very beginning. So I don't mind passing on what I have to say, but I do mind being on a committee and not having a voice because people who are not on the committee are given so much time. That is disturbing. I would like to mention, we do not threaten people. That's not how this committee works. We explain to them the rules, the regulations, and the laws, but we don't threaten. That's just not the way we behave. As part of the committee, I want to be very clear and state this because that's just not the way we do things. And thank you for giving me a few minutes.
Thank you, Kavi.
If I might offer a suggestion to the chair, might be to take committee questions first and then take community questions. I think it's important certainly to hear from both. Yep.
Can I speak now?
You can ask your question, yes.
Yes, I really take exception to that comment. I like your suggestion, Primo, that you could split it up. But community is just as important. They're coming to the board and asking for an approval that would certainly could be detrimental to the quality of life. And this community board was put in place to advocate for community. So I'm getting a little excited and angry, but anyway, I wanted to make sure that this applicant, as I was concerned with the 1017, is in compliance with both the 200 and the 500-foot rule. And that it was already mentioned that they checked the box for a BSA permit for that sound. And I wanted to know that they have backyard space.
I can answer that. Thank you, Ms. Barnes. So there's no backyard space. There's space outside that's part of the building envelope. If you guys have seen the premises, it's part of the building. So they wouldn't be required to file formally with DCA, Department of Consumer Affairs, but now it's going to be Department of Transportation. So no rear yard. There's just outside seating in the front, which will obviously be seasonal. This is not a 500-foot application. That's addressing your question on the 500-foot rule. And on the 200-foot rule, there are storefront churches. Across the street, there is a large commercial building that has many units. It has a deli on the corner, and then it has two little storefront, and then I think a travel. So as Mr. Lozano pointed out earlier, it has to be solely used as a church or a place of worship. That's how the statute reads. So they don't qualify, they don't disqualify the applicant on the 200-foot rule. And then any other church on Rogers is more than 200 feet. And I also believe they're storefronts, but that's irrelevant because they're more than 200. So not a 500 and in compliance with the 200-foot rule.
Thank you so much, Anthony. So I move to recommend this application for approval to the SLA. I'm going to call out each board member and community resident member's name. Please cast your vote. Kavi?
Just a point of order. Are you going to include the stipulation that Primo has suggested?
Yeah, and so thank you, Ms. Boyd. What I believe what Ms. Boyd is referring to, and you can correct me, Ms. Boyd, if I get this wrong at all, but and also Mr. Caraballo, this would be the reduction in hours. And so just to like name those reduction in hours, could you repeat for us what you are willing to reduce in
Yes,
hours?
I can. Yes, I can.
Chair Charles will repeat that in the vote.
We'll also give a written stipulation to the board in support of this. So our primary first initial hours were 2 a.m. So we are reducing Sunday to midnight, and we're reducing Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to 1 a.m. And then the 2 a.m. would only be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So we'd certainly put that in writing and we'll sign to that.
I don't think that this board should be allowing people to be open to 1 a.m. in the morning on the weekdays. You're not considering the residents in this community. It should be 12, just like Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. These are working hours. These are families. Are we not considering them?
I think state law allows the premises to be open till 4 a.m., which is.
I understand, but that's why you come to a community board to negotiate, because every community board sets their standards.
We have negotiated. We've been more than fair. We've reduced our hours.
You reduced the hours for 1 day, not for all the rest of them.
Yes, we did. We reduced 1 hour for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 2 to 1, and we reduced Sunday from 2 to 12. So we changed hours for 4
Well,
days.
I really think what we're concerned about over here is that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, those are work days. Those are school days. Those are times that the neighbors go and the children and the families, they go to work the next day. When you're hearing music till 1 a.m., that's not really, when it's in a weekend, when everybody's relaxing and they have off the next day, it's one thing we're a little bit more understanding with that. But like
I think I'm comfortable reducing the same stipulation that we gave on Sunday for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
More than
Thank you.
More than fair.
Thank you.
Thank you all for engaging in a dialogue about this. This is the whole point of this space. We appreciate it. So
I can restate the hours now. It would be midnight, Sunday to Wednesday closing, and the 2 a.m. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, if that's fair for everyone.
okay, we feel good. Great. Thank you.
That's too late for me, honestly. I think it's too late personally. I think it's too late.
And that's fair. We can hear all the voices, but we also need to move to a vote. And so we've had I think, dialogue here, and we do need to move to a vote at some point for the committee. So Chair Charles, I pass it back to you to call the roll on the reduced hours and the license.
Yes, so I'm gonna call the roll. Kavi,
Sorry,
Kavi?
I keep having to unmute. I'm agreeable with this license, but I do agree that it has to be very clearly stated that they're going to reduce the hours throughout the week, and I really feel that Thursday should also be included, and that just Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday, like those days maybe which are like really weekend nights, that they could be till the 2 a.m. I think like that's a fair compromise, but if they're going to adjust, if they're really looking to adjust and they're going to do the guidelines of the sounding of this, which is very, very important to me, that they are going to be following the guidelines of making sure that the inside of the establishment is going to be being real soundproofed, then I'm ready to vote yes.
Thank you. Israel? Israel?
I vote yes.
Okay. Zlati?
Yes, I vote yes.
Carmen? Carmen?
Abstain.
Okay. Zhang?
I vote, yeah, I'm sorry. I vote no unless they amend the hours from Monday through Thursday up until, oh no, excuse me, Sunday through Thursday till 12 p.m. midnight, 12 a.m. midnight. If they do not amend it in writing, then it's a hard no.
Okay, a point of clarity here. Mr. Caraballo and the owner, this vote that we're taking is built upon the supposition that you will amend your hours to 12, correct?
I think the only question is Thursday. We agreed Sunday to Wednesday, and 2 committee members want us to also extend that to Thursday. So Sam and Jameson, do you agree to also making Thursday midnight?
I mean, I really am want to work with the community board to do whatever we can to maintain all of the goodwill. So I guess I'm not really. To me, like Sunday is a weekend on the day side, but obviously not a night. Everyone goes back to work. It's pretty common in the industry that we work in, and that I have worked in a long time, that Thursday is treated as a later night, a later evening. Certainly, the bar that we run in Fort Greene right now, we are, which we have good standing with the neighbors. We're open past midnight on Thursday. However, I don't want this to be an issue of contention, or this to be sort of the defining issue. So I don't.
Sam, would 1 o'clock? I mean, would that be a nice compromise? 1 o'clock on Thursday. We've been working with you guys.
I'm comfortable with that. That seems fair to me. 1 o'clock.
I mean, they have to earn a living, folks. It's a business.
1 o'clock is fine with me. Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't do that to us.
Excuse me, please.
I'm sorry, everyone. We have to move on with the vote.
Mr. Geller, Mr. Caraballo, just to be clear and not to be time consuming, you said that Thursday is considered a weekend. I went to college, and amongst college towns, because the school week is from Monday through Thursday, they treat Friday as a weekend. This is a residential community, so since you do not agree to have it till midnight, I'm gonna vote no.
Okay, that's fair. Thank you very much. I also, sorry, Chair Charles, derailed your voting process. Please continue. My apologies.
Ronald?
Provided the recommendations are implemented, then I'd vote yes.
Thank you so much. Mia will be in touch with you all. Thank you for coming this evening. Okay, so now we will be moving on with our OCM applications. Have a good night as well. So the first applicant that we have is OET Inc. They are located at 2600 Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Boulevard. currently not licensed. It's a new cannabis license application. Their hours of operation is from Monday through Sunday from 10 a.m. to 11:45 p.m. Do we have the representatives present with us this evening?
I see a hand raised from Miss Boyd, and
Just a point of clarity. After every vote, it is the chair's responsibility to tell us the decision of that vote. You did not do that in the past 3 applications. So what was the decision on that vote, please?
Mia is
Was
also.
it, did it pass? Did it pass or? Okay, so it's important that you state that. So that's the responsibility of a chair. You have to state whether it passed or not. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Boyd. Okay, do we have the representatives from OET Inc. with us this evening?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. So at this moment, you can just tell us a little bit about your establishment, and then, you know, just like we'll follow the same flow that we did with the SLA applications, we'll be able to ask you questions. So you can start whenever you're ready.
Okay, first and foremost, I just want to say happy holidays and thank you guys for taking your time out. My name is Antoinette Haynes and I represent OET Inc. At 733 Flatbush Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11226. I applied for the cannabis retail license. At the moment, my location is a commercial building. It's not residential, so there's no schools or no churches around the location. It's also 3 floors and 5,400 square feet. And that's it for right now. Any questions?
I have a question. So in the application, you mentioned that you all will be having events, and after looking at the deck that you submitted, which is very nice, will all of the events be art focused? Or will it be? Okay. Okay, are there any other questions?
Point of information, what is the southern boundary of CB9? I thought it was the north half of Clarkson. Or is this applicant within our boundaries? Because it's you're south of Clarkson, right?
I'm on Flatbush Avenue.
Between
Right.
What are you between streets, please?
Between Clarkson and Parkside Avenue.
She is in. Okay.
Okay, so it is within CB9 then. Okay.
Sorry, are you a representative? S?
That's Suki Chung, board member,
Okay.
Hi, Janelle.
Hi.
I
Okay,
believe.
thanks, Suki. Cheryl Bernard, I see you have your hand up. Do you have a question?
I actually do have one more
No,
question, which is
no, it's
just
okay.
when did you start
Sorry.
operating?
You can go ahead,
We
Suki.
didn't. Yes, we didn't start operating yet.
Okay, because I know people who have been to events at your store, so I figured that you've been open for several months, a year. I know I've seen the sign up for quite some time.
Yes, at the moment, the location is not open. It hasn't been open for almost a year now.
Oh, so did you open and then close? Because like I said, I do know, like I actually got an invitation to an event at your place several months ago.
No.
Okay. Okay.
Excuse me, very quickly. I think it would be helpful and may quell some of the questions if you would just give the hours of operation and how the business will kind of run day to day for, because we do have committee members here that receive the information you sent to the office, but we also have members of the public here. We're not privy to all the info that you sent over to us to review.
Okay, so for hours of operation, from Monday through Sunday would be 10 a.m. to 11:45 p.m. As far as operation, we will have a retired detective. His name is Michael Warland. He have a security company, so we will have 2 armed security in place at all times to make sure that there's safety inside the establishment. We will also have ID scanners to make sure that everyone in the community that comes inside the location is at proper age requirement.
Thank you. So that both committee members and community resident members get the opportunity to speak. I'm going to be mixing it up on who I tell they can ask a question. So Kavi, I'm going to let you go ahead and ask your question, and then I'll take it to a community resident member.
Thank you. Okay, hi. I wanted to ask, so is this I actually passed it recently and it was like painting or something. So is this a cannabis license? And I'm a little bit confused what exactly the establishment is going to be doing. Is it painting? Could you clarify the activities in this establishment?
It's just a cannabis location.
Is it called painting or something? Is it called painting something or no?
That may be the prior business that occupied the space, and signage is still in place, as a lot of the businesses along Flatbush are. The signage may still be in place prior business.
Okay, okay, I hear you. Okay, another question I have is any bars that are in your vicinity, like any bars close by?
No.
There's no bars on your block?
No.
And
Next door
from-
for me is a bakery and a beauty salon.
And across the street?
It's a sneaker store and I believe a restaurant.
That sells liquor?
No, just food.
What's the restaurant called? Do you know what the restaurant is called by any chance?
No. Zombie, I believe.
And they just, I'm sorry?
Zombie, I believe. Zombie would be the name of the restaurant.
And they don't sell any kind of liquor. They don't have a liquor license that you know of?
No.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate.
So now we're going to Alicia Boyd. You can ask your question.
Again, this goes to the committee. You know, we having these licenses, should not the committee know where these places are? Has the committee checked to see if they're
I actually was there yesterday to answer your question. I actually passed by yesterday there. That's why I asked them if they're doing some kind of painting, because that's what the signage says. So I actually was there. There's a Carvel on the corner. I actually checked and saw there's no noticeable bars over there. I was just curious if there's sometimes people know that there's something that looks like a bakery, but they also sell some kind of beer or something. So that's why I asked her that. I am aware that the bakery was there. I am aware also that the next block there is an organic grocery store. Yes, I actually visited yesterday and saw the exact site where it is.
Okay, because you're asking questions. It is my understanding that that Zombie restaurant does sell alcohol. So did you figure out that while you were in your walking?
So that was the only thing, that when I got to the restaurant, it was pretty packed and everything, and I didn't have a chance to get inside. And that's why I asked her if they sell alcohol, because that was my only concern.
It says Zombie Burger and Drink Lab. So I do believe.
Yeah, maybe we could ask Mia to do a quick look through our inbox at the community board to see whether this is a license that we have granted in the past. I will, however, say that there are no rules actually about this, but it is good, I think, to your point, for the community board to know.
Well, I just want to make a point that we need to set rules. I mean, every community board has the right to set rules about cannabis storefronts, especially the new applications, because they're rushing to get licensing and they become the model for everybody else. I think that her being open to 10 a.m. in the morning is not appropriate. I don't think that they should be selling weed early in the morning. I don't know why she thinks that that's a popular time frame, but I think I'm concerned about that. I'm also concerned about the fact that this committee has not set some standards. I think you guys might need to roll back and have a discussion about standards. Like, what do we want? What time do we think is appropriate? Some community boards are not even allowing smoking on the premise. And if you don't adhere to that, you don't get a license or approval. And let's be clear, everybody's pushing to get that license first because it's a first come, first serve in the state. So whoever gets our approval gets the license, and then they knock out the competition in that particular area. So we need to be really clear about what is our standards. I don't think you should have smoking on the premise. I'm concerned about you have, somebody with a gun. You need 2 gun-armed people there, and definitely the time frame is just not appropriate. 10 a.m. in the morning? No, I think that's definitely not something that we should be tolerating. And I think that this committee needs to set these standards as these licenses coming before us. Secondly, she's already engaged in unlawful behavior because she's already had a facility that didn't have a license. So we need to take that in consideration too. If she's already had a facility in our community without a license, then I'm concerned about the fact that she now wants to legalize it with people with guns to 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, or 10 a.m. in the morning. Oh my God. And I think that this committee needs to sit down and do that, maybe in a subcommittee or something. But you guys need to come up with parameters that the community can support when you're having liquor licenses that now will have a license. I mean, cannabis license. Thank you.
Thanks, Alicia. Rod, I'm going to go to you. You can ask the question.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm just going to ask a few questions for clarity. All right, so the location at 733 Flatbush Avenue, is that location currently a dispensary? Are you currently selling any type of marijuana?
No.
Okay. So the next question is, you have a location that was mentioned at 2600 Adam Clayton Powell Boulevard. Is that location currently open as well and is selling cannabis?
That wasn't the correct address. The address is 733 Flatbush Avenue.
Okay, no, that I have. I was just asking a question with regards to the existing location that was mentioned previously, 2600 Adam Clayton Powell Boulevard in Manhattan. Is that location currently a dispensary?
No, that's where I live.
Okay. Oh, that's where you live. Okay,
Yeah.
understood. Okay. Okay. And you said the hours, what were the hours again? Because I missed that. You're gonna
Sorry, go ahead, sir.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I just didn't get the hours.
So the hours of operation was 10 a.m. to 11:45, but there's always, up for negotiation.
And those hours are 7 days a week?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Just as a statement, I mean, me personally, I don't agree with these hours of operation, selling cannabis that early in the morning. I have to say I agree with Alicia, all day, 7 days a week. That's just my feeling. I just have a problem with this, but thank you very much for your time.
Yes, definitely. It's no problem to definitely negotiate a time that's comfortable for the community, for the proper timing. And I also know that the lady mentioned before, as far as smoking on premises, because there would be no smoking on the premises at all. And the company name is OET, and we was not open the whole time during this time.
So what time would you negotiate? What time would you negotiate?
12 o'clock p.m. Or whatever time could be negotiated.
I think it should be
it's fine.
after school hours. I think it should be after school hours. We should not be allowing any type of smoking done during school hours. Children are walking back and forth. Flatbush, a very congested commercial corridor. We have a lot of activity there. This is very much like alcohol serving. You don't want people serving alcohol at 12, o'clock, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I think we should treat it just as such. And it should be definitely in the evening hours and not in the daytime while our children, we've seen too many children going into these cannabis stores and buying. And it's been disturbing us immensely. I mean, we are completely disturbed by our young people are just,
Well, as I mentioned earlier, that we will have security for the proper ID scanning, for New York State ID scanning, to make sure that everybody who comes inside the establishment will have to be the proper age, which is 21 years or older.
I do
and
not.
I appreciate that. But
Yeah.
fine.
Ms. Boyd, I do not disagree with any of your sentiments. I do want to pass it back to Chair Charles just to keep us moving through the comments so all voices can be heard of folks who have their hands raised.
Thank you, Primo. So I will go to Teresa now. You have a question?
Hi.
Sorry, and if you all can please keep it to 2 minutes so that we give everyone the opportunity to ask the questions that they have. Thank you. You can go ahead, Teresa.
Hi. Thank you for coming, and I appreciate your entrepreneurial forwardness. This is the first time I'm hearing of a license coming, so I congratulate you for doing the work. And I just want to know a little bit about your business and what your intentions are and why you're doing it. And I'm also curious, like, is this I went to some of the meetings, about, I guess, I think it's a difficult application, so it's not easy, but I'm wondering what types of products you're going to be carrying. Will it be like chocolate, gummies, mushrooms, that kind of thing? Or is it just like stuff to smoke? Like, what exactly is happening? I'm just very curious as to what's going to happen.
It would definitely be no mushrooms, but all the cannabis products will definitely be tested. So it would definitely be THC products as far as the leaf or pens or candy as far as in that manner, chocolate.
So anybody can go in there and purchase. And could you tell us a little bit about your business, like just about yourself, like why you want to do it, like what's your story? I'm interested in stories.
Well, I'm a businesswoman, so that's why I was interested in it, to create definitely generational wealth and to be able to have the opportunity to educate the community about cannabis and also be able to offer jobs to the community and whoever else is in need of a job.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. So now we're going to go to Zhang.
Good evening. First, I just want to let you guys know, I think, I'm sorry, I didn't get your real name. I'm just going to address you as Mamacita. Huh?
Antoinette Haynes.
Okay, I think Miss Hayes is actually going in the right direction. I do not in my heart feel that her hours are too early. Reason being is during the time that her establishment will be open is school hours. So if kids are there or roaming the streets, that means they're smoking weed anyway because they're cutting school. So when school is open, they should be in school. So this should not affect any kids. Even further, her establishment is going to have not one, but 2 security guards according to her with ID scanners. So it's my opinion that the security threshold to thwart people from smoking illegally is met. Now, the only question that I do have is that Ms. Boyd made a point that I can't ignore. She said that it's been operating illegally. Now, Ms. Boyd, do you have any way to verify this? Because if so, we have as a board.
It was stated during the conversation, at the beginning of the conversation. It was stated that she had another space.
I believe Ms.
No,
Boyd.
no. Yeah, because from my understanding was unless I'm misunderstood, Ms. Boyd, which I don't know. From my understanding, Mamacita just took over this location. So, I mean,
Yes.
Ms. Hayes, I'm sorry. Ms. Hayes just
Yes.
took over this location. So even if there was any type of illegal activity going on at this establishment, Ms. Hayes, were you participant in that?
No.
Okay.
Can you
That's
clarify
all
for
I had
us?
to know.
Thank you, Zhang. Could you clarify for us when you took ownership of this location? I'm asking Ms.
November.
Of 2023.
Yeah.
Is that what she's saying? Because I didn't hear.
Yes. November 2023. Yes.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification. And sorry, Chair Charles, I'll pass it back to you.
Okay, great. So now we're gonna move on. Danielle, I see you have your hand up. Go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, everyone. I'm actually not part of the community board. I'm not a member. However, I am a resident of the community. And I have seen over, honestly, the past year and a half, a proliferation of smoke shops, shops that were bodegas that are now selling weed products. And my concern is that, well, Ms. Hayes, I just want to say that I think that you are going in the right direction with this, because I'm sure that a lot of these places that have opened up didn't even bother to come to the community board. So I really do appreciate that. But my concern is that this whole area of Flatbush, I would have to say, between Church Avenue up to Empire Boulevard seems to be becoming this corridor where it seems like that is all that seems to be opening up. And I really feel that it is not doing the community any kind of service. And I understand that, you know, young people like to smoke weed and all that kind of stuff. But I feel that too much of something really tends to drag the community down. And that's what I'm starting to see. And I feel like we are not making the headway that we can with bringing our community back from the pandemic, because we were like going with a lot of restaurants and things like that. And while some of them seem to be coming back, it is still really slow. And I feel like what's jumping in their place is all these companies that just want to open up smoke shops, and illegal ones at that. Because quite frankly, Ms. Hayes's business is the first one that I'm hearing about that actually is being licensed. So I just want to ask everybody to think about that, because it really is, you know, one more location that we are going to have to deal with. And quite frankly, the area that she wants to put this business in, it can get kind of hot over there.
Thank you.
So, you know, I don't want to rain on anybody's parade,
Yes.
but you know, I have to live over there too. And it's kind of crazy.
Can I speak?
And Chair Charles, do you
Yes.
also mind if I just offer some
Hi.
thoughts, and then Ms. Hayes? Ms. Morgan, first of all, thank you for coming and for expressing that sentiment. It is one that we have heard repeatedly, and one that anybody who lives in the community is painfully aware of. There are 100%
Yes,
of
definitely.
shops selling pot in this community right now are illegal. There are no legal shops. We have seen, like, none of them have come before the community board, to your point. It is our hope that through licensing properly licensed locations, they will also help us in the fight against illegal shops. And that is what we hope that our applicants will come with the intention of doing, because they don't want their own business, their licensed businesses, to be threatened by unlicensed shops selling the same product. And I would encourage every single member of the community to submit complaints against any unlicensed shop. They are illegal, and the state is dragging its feet on responding to it. It is not under our guidance to be able to shut them down, unfortunately, but they are illegal. Anybody who is selling pot right now in Community Board 9 is not doing so legally. This would be our first license. Just wanted to offer those thoughts in response. We agree with you. There are far too many unlicensed shops in this neighborhood, and we hope that this is a step towards getting those out of
Yes.
our.
Thanks so
Yes,
much.
to my
Sorry, you can go ahead.
Yes, to my understanding, I know that once there is retail licensed cannabis locations, that they would definitely shut down all the shops or location that has unlicensed locations. And definitely, as I mentioned, that I do have a retired detective who was in the law enforcement for 25 years. So whoever is in our neighborhood who do have unlicensed retail cannabis locations, we would definitely report them so that we could be able to have a, a safer, proper community and neighborhood.
Thank you, Ms. Hayes. So we're gonna take our last question from Nicola, and then we're gonna move to a vote.
Okay, so I have a couple questions. One, I just tried to Google the location and I wondered if you had confirmed the hours of operations for some of the surrounding businesses, because many of them seem like they would not be open until basically midnight. So I would think that we would want hours of operations that kind of fit into the character of that neighborhood and the surrounding businesses. We don't want a beacon flashing as the only thing going on is a dispensary, right? So that's one thing to keep in mind as we start negotiating the hours of operation. Number two, I know that you said that you just took over the location in November. I'm trying to understand how the process works. So you got the place in November, and then when did you apply for the license? Wouldn't you have to have had the location before you applied for the license?
Yes, I signed the lease in November 2023.
The license application, just as a point of clarity, is from November.
Okay. All right. So you got I didn't realize it would be that quick. Okay. But that's my main problem, is that I want something, if we're going to have it, it needs to fit into the character. And this is a primarily residential area. We've talked about the illegal. A lot of my comments were taken by the previous commenter, and I appreciate that. So again, we just want to be careful about what we're introducing now legally into our community and making sure that it somewhat aligns with the character that we want to create and maintain in this neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicola. So at this point, we are going to move to a vote because we do have other.
Point of order, again, there was the question on the table about time. She said she was willing to negotiate that time. I didn't see any discussion about that.
That's fair. Chair Charles, and thank you, Ms. Boyd, for that point. I might suggest that you might have a conversation amongst the committee members as to which, or at your discretion, kind of which revised hours could be suitable based on the comments from the community. And then you could offer those hours to the business owner. I think it might behoove us to err on the side of caution when beginning this and make the hours a little bit.
One
Can I
point.
just also ask
I-
something, as someone
Can I-
who lives
One question.
near
It's
this
about-
location, I
Like
just,
two people trying to talk at the same
Talking
time.
at the same time. Can we please quickly and sorry, but Chair Charles, up to you.
Yes, there's two people talking at the same time. Suki, I know you had a question or comment. You're
yeah,
free to go.
just, as someone who lives close to this location, I would like to see a stipulation that you're not going to allow any hanging out or smoking in front of your store. I don't think that's allowed in the first place. I think the rules prohibit that, but I want to make sure that you're going to be enforcing that.
Yes, definitely. As I mentioned before, there will be no smoking in the premises or around the premises.
So no loitering in front of the store, no smoking on the sidewalk in front of the store.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Teresa, I also see you have your hand
Just
up.
a quick question. I know that this committee previously had produced a worksheet, like a questionnaire for the cannabis licenses. Was that used for that? Are you using that?
Ms. Westall is provided to you in the email that I sent you earlier.
Oh, I didn't see that one. I looked through them. All right, I might have missed it or saw it was something else. Thank you, Mia.
So
as far as,
sorry. No, go ahead, Ms. Hayes.
Yes, as far as hours, as mentioned before, in the beginning, it was 10 a.m., but I'll say 12 p.m. due to, school hours, the kids will be in school. So from 12 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. And if it's up for negotiation, then so.
If I could say something, I think that the community members voice that perhaps you can have hours that are similar to the stores around. Does anyone in the community know the hours of the stores that are around the would-be dispensary, so we know what hours we're talking?
The restaurants and the ones that sell alcohol tend to be around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, who wind up for the most part selling those kind of products.
You're naming starting hours, right, Ms. Boyd?
Yeah, starting hours around 4.
And
4 to
closing
5.
around
Isn't
Closing
that when the
around,
kids come home though?
between 10 and 12.
between 10 and 12. Okay. If I might suggest myself, starting hours like 3 p.m. and closing hours around 10 p.m. That would be my suggestion personally, as a community member.
Are we gonna make all of them do these same hours or just this one? You have to be the same rules for everybody.
Yes, and I think
fact.
that that's the point. I think the point is to start this application in the direction that we want this to go. I mean, that, and see everybody's raising their thumbs. Okay, this is the application. So we
I would
wanna make
also
sure that
offer, sorry, Ms. Boyd, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I think it needs to be tight. And then when we see that she's been a good neighbor, when we see that there has not been hanging out, she might want to come back to us 2 years later and say, I've been really good. Maybe I can extend my time. But right now, this is also a trial for us to see how good these cannabis businesses are going to run in our community. And so I think, erring on the side of caution is better than the other way around.
I tend to agree with Ms. Boyd that erring on the side of caution is better to begin with. It's easier to expand out than it is to compress back in. And what else was I going to say? I don't remember. So to the community members.
As I was looking on the neighbors of the locations, some of the stores open up from 11 a.m. and close at 10:30 p.m.
Not the restaurants and the bars. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a clothing store.
I'm sorry. The thing that I was going to say is that part of the community board's job in this process also is to, be location specific, right? So that's the conversation that we're having now too. Where is the place located? What should the hours be based on that? So I think it's dangerous for us to say all applications will be between these hours. I think that is the purpose of the community board, is to understand the location and then make appropriate hour allocations based on where it is it residential, is it commercial, et cetera, et cetera. I'm sorry, Chair Charles, pass it back to you. I know you've got a bunch of hands raised before we get to this vote.
Yes. So I see Ronald, you have your hand up. You can go ahead.
Yeah, I was just listening to everyone and I was just trying to be fair in my assessment. I understand our concerns. But I think too, what is our criteria for saying that it has to be later in the afternoon? I'm neither pro nor con, but liquor stores are open at 10 o'clock. And we're saying that smoking has to be open at 3 or later in the afternoon. And if we're concerned about kids, then 3 o'clock isn't going to be a deterrent. So I think in all fairness, we need to be considerate. It's a business. We do want to get rid of those that are illegal. I think we have a two-tier situation, but we also have to be fair, because I think the state, I believe last year, there's a criteria. They go through some training and there are certain things that have to be in place. And I think one of the considerations that were brought up was about the products that they would sell, which was candy and those kinds of things. I'd be concerned about enticements that would encourage young people, children, to be attracted to the place. And I'm just throwing this out just for discussion, because I'm listening and I'm trying to clarify things in my own mind before we go forward. That's all.
It's a great point, Ronald. I just want to also make the point, this has been raised a few times, and you can probably name this too, Ms. Hayes, which is adults who are under the age of 21 will not be allowed into the premises and will not be allowed to buy from the premises. There is a IDs being scanned at all licensed shops. It is a part of why licensing makes this better.
Yes, and also that even if children is going past the location, they will not be able to look inside the actual location to see the cannabis products. It will only be security in the front. And once you pass the ID scanning, there will be another wall with a door where the cannabis products will be in the back. So walking past, no children will be able to see the cannabis products inside.
Anna Sterling, I see you have your hand up.
Hi, I'm a community member, and I was just curious if there's any regulations or requirements in place for how many of these shops can be allowed in our community and like the distance apart. And it seems like since there are probably going to be a lot of licenses coming to the community board, that we should know what the, regulations are before we start approving.
Great question.
I bet it's 2,000 feet.
From each other. And what
Yes.
about schools and churches? Are there any state requirements there?
There's no schools or churches near my location.
Yeah, I'm just also
The rule is-
considering that I think there's other licenses here. I think feels like since this is the first one being introduced into our community, that we should have a full understanding of what the rules and regulations are.
Mia, would you happen to know?
Yeah, it's the same as the SLA. They cannot be within 500 feet.
But they can't be within 2,000 feet of each other.
Right.
So that basically means if you are on the street, you dominate that street. If you have your license, nobody else is going to sell your product on your street.
Yes.
So there's going to be, that's the place to go on that block.
Yes, as being a licensed retail cannabis location.
And this gives them a lot of power.
Right.
What they sell, the time that they sell it, because
If they
won't
have multiple
competition.
locations.
They won't have competition.
That is, and I just want to add one point of clarity, just directly from the Office of Cannabis Management's website. Proximity protection grants either a 1,000 or 2,000 foot radius around a proposed retail dispensary location based on the municipality's population. So just naming that, I don't know what our municipality's population density, how it affects it, whether it means 2,000 or 1,000. I would assume it means 1,000 because the denser a location is, the tighter that footage of distance will get. So just wanted to raise that point of clarity.
Thank you, Primo. So we do have two other applications and we want to be cognizant of everyone's time. So Ms. Hayes, just to go back to the timing, are you able to adjust your hours of operation?
1 p.m. to 10 p.m.
How does the community feel about that?
Hello?
Zhang, I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit down and say, we have so many bad actors in the community that's doing the wrong thing. The illegal smoke shops has been a major source of contention for the community board ever since I joined the community board. So if you do have one person that's doing the right thing by going through the process as it should be gone through, we need to set an example. We need to make an example out of this person and reward them properly. Now we have, I see that she's being attacked because there's a liquor store across the street from her. Perhaps there may be, but what does that have to do with her? What is she doing wrong? She's opening the business. Now they're saying that she will dominate the block. And I'm saying this respectfully. So I'm not trying to cause any confrontation between me or anyone because I respect anyone's opinions. Well, yes, that is true that she will dominate the community. You know why? Because she applied for the license the proper way. This is what we want. If she's doing the right thing, I don't think we should attack her. I think we should embrace her. That's just my opinion. She's doing everything right.
Thank you, Zhang. So Miss Fei, she is willing to adjust her times. So I move to recommend this application for approval to OCM. I'm going to call a roll and please let me know how you are voting. So Kavi?
Can I make a comment or not?
Due to the sake of time, we wanna move on with the applications. So if you can hold your comment to once we're finished voting on.
It has to do, I just want to make the point that, you know, if we don't allow her to be open earlier hours, it gives a window for these illegal operations to fill that in. So I think that should be considered. You know, somebody else brought up that point and I wasn't thinking of it before, but I am now. And I think everybody should, that if she's closed as the only legal shop, the other ones will have a window to be open.
No, they won't, because they won't be in business. Once you get it's been told that once you get a license, everyone else is getting shut down. The state has already stated that. They are coming in and they're closing shop. You don't have a license, you're done. You're done.
We certainly hope that that is the case, and that is what has been communicated, but we also exist in a world where we haven't seen this yet.
And she said herself that she's going to be, you know, looking at her competitors and filing complaints. So she's going to help us with that.
By the same token, community's been submitting complaints, and so yes, both things are true. Yeah.
Okay, so we are going to proceed with the vote. Kavi?
Can you come back to me, please? I'm still thinking about it. Thank you.
Israel?
Yes.
Okay, Zlati?
No.
Okay. Carmen?
What's the vote? For the time or
Yes.
It's for the
Yes.
license.
Okay, thank
The
you.
vote is for the application, and the application during the hours that were suggested by the applicant of 1 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Zhang?
Yes.
Ronald?
Yes, yes. In all fairness, I think yes.
And Kavi, I'm coming back to you.
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay, so this application is approved. So now we're gonna move on with our next applicant, which is the Flatbush Exotic. This establishment is located, you're welcome, at 544.
Congratulations, Ms. Hayes. That is the first cannabis license passed out in CB9. Chair Charles, also take a moment to recognize your work on this front. To the community, also take a moment to appreciate your input and your participation in this process. And to the committee, I congratulate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Have a blessed night.
Congratulations, Ms. Haynes.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay,
And I hope to see you in the neighborhood.
So Flatbush Exotic, it's located at 544 Flatbush Avenue. On the application, it said that it was clicked off that it was currently licensed. So that may be a typo, but it was clicked off on the application. However, they are applying for a new cannabis license. Their hours of operation is from Monday through Sunday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. And they will have security personnel at their establishment. So at this moment, do we have the representatives from Flatbush Exotic on the call with us?
Yes. It's two of us here. We have Mr. Kasim, the owner, and my name is Francis Shelley, and I do the paperwork for Mr. Kasim.
Thank you. If you can just tell us a little bit about your establishment, how you will be working, and then obviously the board members and community resident members will have an opportunity to ask you questions.
Well, as you stated earlier, it's located right on the corner of Flatbush and Lincoln Road, Flatbush Avenue.
Wait, I'm sorry to interrupt. But I'm hearing an echo. Is there another device that is on? Okay,
I think you all can proceed.
We can't hear you.
You're muted right now.
I think the echo may have been coming from the applicant himself. I mean, I think he may have had multiple devices signed in.
It did because on the computer, then we can't see. I mean, not that we can't see, we can't hear you on the computer. So I turned the phone on, so I'm looking at the computer as I'm speaking to you on the phone. But you can hear me now because you can hear me now, right?
We can hear you now.
yes, sir.
All right. So like I said, 544 Flatbush Avenue. It's a small corner store right on the corner of Flatbush and Lincoln Road. And basically, we sell sodas, we sell cigarettes, and we sell hemp products. We don't, on the application was a typo. We don't have the dispensary license yet. We do have the license for, we have cannabis hemp retail license, cannabinoid hemp retail license. That's what we have. As I'm showing you on there, that's the license we have from the state.
I see Ms. Boyd ready to ask a question. I'm just going to get in front of this and say there are two types of licenses that are provided by the Office of Cannabis Management. One is a hemp and cannabis, and one is a hemp license essentially for like lesser products. And then this is a
dispensary.
It's
Right, we
like-
do have a license
But
for
I couldn't hear sir, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what he said the last. Primo, could you say that again? I
Yes.
missed.
So yes, two licenses, one for hemp products and a second is a dispensary license for kind of the full suite of cannabis products, which is what
And
they're
he
applying.
currently has the smaller one.
Correct.
Yes,
correct.
Yes, we do have that. Show that.
This one is the small one.
And we have it in paper on the application itself as
Right.
well.
And we also have a distributor's license. So those are the two licenses that we have.
Okay, thank you. At this moment, are there any questions? Teresa, I see you've had your hand up. I'm gonna allow you to go ahead, and please, everyone, 2 minutes.
Oh, I don't have any questions. I'm sorry, I just had my hand up from before. Go ahead.
Okay, Israel, I see you have your hand up. You can go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, you mentioned that you have a hemp license, but I actually passed by and it says that we sell THC on a neon sign. Why is that?
Because you have THC, you have 0.03 THC. So all our hemp product do contain a little tiny percentage of THC, and we always address it to the customers and let them know. Because with the hemp license we have now, we are allowed to sell up to 1% of THC. So all our product will be labeled 0.03 THC or 0.09 THC.
Okay. Also, I noticed that there is the next application coming up is on the same block. So I just wanted to point that out before we vote on this one, that we should probably consider them.
I don't know about that one.
What you mean, another application on the same block?
That has nothing to do with it.
I have
It
more
does,
than one
it does.
block. Yeah.
It has everything to
No,
do
I'm
with
just mentioning it to the committee, so you guys are aware that we should probably
Okay.
mention it before we vote.
I'm sorry. I thought you said anything.
Okay, all right, thank you, Israel. Alicia, you can go ahead and ask your question.
I think that the fact that they're both competing for the same space on the same block, that's going to be an issue for us, because if the current regulation says 1,000 square feet or 2,000 square feet, we can't approve both of them. That's not going to be possible. So
Okay.
first, I'm sorry, sir. Just if you could just let me. First, you have to determine whether or not we are 1,000 or 2,000 based upon our density. And then you have to determine after this conversation, which one do we choose if there is a conflict, because we can't approve both. So this is just my suggestion. My suggestion is we hear both of them. We determine whether or not it's 1,000, and then you guys meet on another day and just, decide which applicant did you like the best.
I agree with Ms. Boyd.
Mia, would you mind taking a look online and seeing the distance between the two locations? It's easily accessible on
Sure. I believe it's hold on.
Then you can report back to us, but let's continue with the questions.
Yeah,
And thank you for your comment, First Lady.
And so I just want my question. I do have a question. You're now moving up the ladder with this new application. So what additional products? And could you just describe the types of products that you're now trying to sell that you were unable to sell in the lower one? Thank you.
Yes, I can. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to bring more product that contains higher THC and more organic products to the place, which is is made and grown by original farms that's here in Connecticut and out of state. And I'm trying to deal with everything that have to do with Connecticut and upstate. And every time I go, they always ask me for the other license. So I said, you know what, since I've been in business since 2019, it was a regular shop. When the hemp license came out, I went and I took my step and I got my hemp license. And also when we brought in the hemp product, I chose hemp and THC product instead of tobacco. So all of my tobacco, all of my stores are tobacco free 100%. And we also, try to I'm just trying to honestly, just step it a little notch more and see how that goes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Boyd. We'll move on to our next question, Danielle.
Okay. When you said Flatbush Exotics, okay, as I stated before, I live in the community and there seems to be a lot of stores of Flatbush Exotics. And they're quite condensed in one area. So I'm trying to understand, because don't you have a location at the corner of Fenimore and Flatbush?
Yes, I do. And that place is licensed to carry hemp product, and I have all of my proper documents for it. And hopefully, once I finish with 544 and everything is good up there, I'll move on to get in the big dispensary license for that one too.
Okay.
As soon as they allow this to apply again.
Okay, so I guess my point being that, it almost seems like with this 1,000-foot rule, you guys are actually competing against yourselves because you're so close together. It's almost like you're creating a monopoly right in the neighborhood.
Yeah, but also, if I get the dispensary license for 544, what I will do, I'll just make Fenimore, the corner of Fenimore, to be 100% CBD and hemp product. So that way it will give me a big opportunity to carry more THC product than 544 and more hemp and CBD Delta 8, Delta 9 product in the corner of Fenimore. So that's what I would do, honestly. If I end up, hopefully, God willing, everything goes good between, 544 and everything else, I'll just leave that one for a THC product in a dispensary, and I will leave Fenimore just, leave it as hemp and only CBD Delta 8, Delta 9. And also that's going to give me more opportunity to employ more people from the area too, which I have. All of my workers is from the neighborhood and was raised in the neighborhood, grew in the neighborhood. I was raised in the neighborhood myself. I lived on 40 Lincoln Road all of my life. My dad had the store right there by the bus stop for all of our life. My dad just passed away in 2021. And that's when I took the initiative to take over the family business and continue what we have going on.
Okay, I have another question. Were you guys ever known as Fiend City?
Never. We don't associate with Fiend City. We don't end up what the situation was. We never associated with Fiend City, and we're not with them.
Okay, all right. Thank you for that clarification.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So now we're going to move on to Kavi. I see you have your hand up. You can go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to clarify. Do you have like pictures of dogs on the front of in your storefront saying beware of all these different kind of dogs that you have?
Yeah, I do have pictures of dog, but I do just have one sign. But it's just a picture. That's another way of security to people to be aware, because honestly, since I got my dogs in there, we haven't ran into no problems. We don't have no issue. And also,
And once we get the license,
Yeah.
we are going to hire security. I put that in the application.
yes, we are gonna
very,
hire
very
security.
concerned about that. You know, we're
But-
going to have security at the door, and there's not going to be smoking inside the store. No smoking.
No,
You know,
nothing of
just
that.
purchase and go, and that's it.
Will you be scanning?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
We do it. We do ID everybody now. We and our cash registers right now. We have a scanner, and you can actually take the person ID and just scan it right away onto the POS system. But most of the time, because we don't have somebody about to do it, they just look at the ID. As long as they over age, you know, and we go from there.
Over 18.
Okay, 1 second. So you don't have
21,
scanning,
we
right?
don't
now-
let nobody-
They will have
Right now,
scanning.
right now, you're just
It's-
looking at the ID?
It's
No,
a
we do
necessity.
have POS scanner.
It's a necessity. Every single licensed shop has to scan. So
Yes,
this is
we do. We have the POS
process.
scan.
A few
Okay,
things-
but you said sometimes they lift up their ID and they show it to you. So we're just
No,
letting
no,
you
no,
know.
not just lift it up. We take the ID from them, scan it, make sure, give it to them.
Okay, so you're saying the dogs are there for security.
They're
But-
not there for security. They really friendly dogs. I just got the warning sign. Just honestly, since I got the warning sign up there, we don't have no issue, no nothing. Those is my personal dogs. Is not for security reason whatsoever. But you know, honestly, since we put that and people see the dogs and stuff, we haven't had no issues, no problems. And thanks God, we know everybody in the neighborhood. From I grew up in the neighborhood, so I know everybody. And when I'm not around, people always second, they want to think twice or three times before they even attempt anything, and we go from there.
Okay. Is there like smoking right now in the store or outside of the store?
No,
No.
none of that. No smoking inside or in front of the store.
There's no loitering outside the store?
No, already. There's a pizza store right next door. There's a pharmacy right next. There's all small businesses all down the line. So, it's always people outside. But in front of the store, there's no hanging out or smoking in the store or smoking in front of the store. No. And there's going to be security. Once the license is issued, there's going to be security at the door.
Okay, I don't know, maybe it just happened incidentally, but yet last night when I was there were 3 people loitering outside of the store smoking.
Honestly, with in front of the business, it's really difficult for us as the business owners to go outside and, argue with people, telling them to leave or something. But usually I try to, if they standing directly in front of my doorsteps, I always stop it. But if they a little bit away from my store, that's something I could do. I cannot do nothing about it in my hand. Even if you call the cops and they come over there, they tell you, oh, we can't do nothing about that. They over there, they passed your box. Supposedly, we only have 1 square box towards our business to control. So that's what I try to stick by, because I try to avoid problems from the neighborhood and people in the neighborhood that would think that I'm against them because I know them. So, like as long as to me, they're not in front of my door, in front of my window, in front of my business, exactly. I can't tell them nothing about the pizza shop, about the little smoke shop, about the little candy store that's next door or anything related to that.
Okay, so I just want to go back to Ms. Boyd's question regarding how much distance it is away from the other shop. So it is 200 feet apart from the other shop. So for this applicant, I'm going to suggest that we table this vote until the committee can review. How does everyone feel about that?
You said 200 or 2,000, I'm sorry.
206 feet. It's too close as of the moment. Their
Wait,
second door.
wait. Okay, what's the location for the other store?
What store?
They're
There's no
over-
store there.
There's no store over there.
No, it's no store.
It's an application.
The application that we just approved is 200 feet away.
Oh.
Yes.
That's
it's-
the liquor store, no? For a liquor store, no?
Yeah, for the liquor store. She's around the corner.
No, for a cannabis license. The cannabis license that was just
But they
approved.
went for 733.
No, the 733, they actually 5 blocks away from
Yeah,
us.
they on Parkside and
They
Flanders.
are on
You can look
Parkside.
it up in Google.
They're on
This one is
Parkside.
Lincoln
Yeah,
Road.
733
This
is
one is
is 5
Lincoln Road
blocks
and
away.
Flatbush. That's
Then
like
we
10
may
blocks.
we may have made a mistake. Let us.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely a
Yeah,
mistake.
just
Mia
Very-
was just running the numbers.
You know, I've been,
733.
Hold
I've
on,
been-
guys. Hold on very
Okay, so-
quickly.
It's an administrative mistake. Give us one
Yes.
moment.
Yes,
Give us-
very quickly.
give us
The
one moment.
application that we just approved and recommended for Ms. Hayes, she's currently 1,320 feet from this
Right.
gentleman. When everyone talked about the next location, they were when Yashiro made the reference, it was for the applicant that has not been reviewed yet. Additionally, the applicant is talking about another store that he owns. So that application, if he ever attempts to file it, may be in jeopardy just because of the location.
Right, we're not even going to put an
We're not
application
even,
for that.
honestly,
We're
it's
not
okay.
going to put an
Okay.
application for that.
Is 1,320 feet.
Thank you
Thank
for that.
you.
And
Mia.
Mia, sorry, when I
No
wasn't
problem.
saying that
Thank
was
you.
your
No
mistake.
problem.
Thank you.
Thank you. No problem. Thank you.
Okay, so let's
Thank you,
move
Mia.
on.
Thank you so
Let's move
much.
on.
I just have one more question about time, because I know we got kind of carried. Are you willing to negotiate your time? as
Of
you
Yes.
saw?
course.
Yes.
Of course.
So what time are you willing to negotiate? You saw the other one doing 1 to 10. Are you willing to do the
All
same
right,
thing?
so
We're
we're going
willing
to
to
do
do
the
the
same because
same
it's
thing.
going to be the same dispensary, different hours. So we're going to be the same hours. 1 to 10, we'll go with that. So everybody on Flatbush will be 1 to 10.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I just have to say, I'm glad that you have been in the neighborhood so long. It's always
Yeah, I
wonderful
know you.
to send our young people,
know you.
you know, coming up and taking over businesses, but at the same time, we are a community, so we're concerned.
Yes,
So
thank you. I appreciate
don't
it.
take my note as me not saying no, but I'm just, you know,
No,
I
I'm a
got you.
political
Thank you so much.
activist.
thank you.
Okay.
So
Thank
the
you.
applicant, if you can just repeat again what the hours of operation that you said that you wouldn't mind adjusting.
All right, so now it's going to be 1 to 10, 1 p.m.
1
to 10
p.m.
p.m.
10 p.m. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So I move to recommend this application to them. I'm going to call a roll. Kavi?
I abstain.
Okay.
What are you moving to table this or to what?
No, we will not be tabling this.
But I thought that the other
Yeah.
applicant coming behind might have a conflict. No?
Yeah. So don't you need to hear both of them first before you can make your decision?
I'm telling
agree.
you, I've been to other community boards and they talked about the 2,000 distance.
Even if it's only 1,000, the two that you're hearing two today that are within like 200 feet of each other. You need to hear both before you make a decision.
It's over
Suki-
that.
No. There's a second one on just past Beekman that is
We-
asking for a license.
Can we just ask Mia for clarity on that? Mia, is the next application going to be 200 feet away?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes,
So-
the next application is at 560. So
Thank
I would recommend the committee perhaps, Janelle, you may move forward to the next application and then have the committee decide which application they would like to move forward.
To the applicants, we apologize, right? Like, this is the first time we're going through a process. We have rules that we need to follow. We want to get everything right. And so just asking you, I know we asked you for time last time. We just
Yeah.
want to hear all the
make-
applicants first, and we
Right.
want to give the committee their ability to go through the correct process to get this right for your sake and for the communities.
If
Okay,
there's a time issue, we can reach out to you after the fact if you're unable to stay for the entirety of the meeting.
So now we're going to move on to this development.
Mia, you know, we missed the first meeting the first time. We've been sending application to you long
Mr.
time.
Gallo,
You remember that,
very
right,
aware.
Mia?
We will
And
remember that. We will.
This one.
We do acknowledge that you have been waiting. You are the first applicant. That's why we're seeing you during this meeting, and we will
Right,
continue
okay.
to take that into consideration as we move forward. Okay?
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you all. Okay, so we're going to move on to our next applicant, which is Best Development New York LLC. And this is located at 560 Flatbush Avenue. They're applying for a new cannabis license. Their hours of operation are Monday through Tuesday. Well, actually, Monday through Tuesday, they're closed, and they are open from Wednesday to Sunday from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. And they will not have
It's
security.
560 Flatbush. I'm sorry to cut you off. Are you sure? Because 560 is the hardware.
It's a hardware store.
Is it 560 or 506?
Patios 580.
Let's give us a moment to take a look at the application. Thank you
Yes.
for the question.
I'm the only one from Fenimore all the way to Lincoln Road. I'm the only one that's there.
Yeah, but it's a new application, sir. So right, but they may not exist in that place right now. They're trying to.
Ms. Boyd is correct. If they can apply for a license before coming into business. You're the only applicant that we've seen so far that has that preliminary license. So other folks are new.
Right. And also, Yasin, we took our time. We have everything right, and we also made sure our facilities.
I know. Trust me, we know. You don't. We know. We just gotta get this right from a process perspective. Okay. We hear
This
you.
is the weed corridor.
On the application, it says proposed location address 560 Flatbush Avenue, Brooklyn, New York 11225. That's what it says on the application.
Is that
I would like to say that it's not open yet. We passed by. There is nothing there at this time.
Right.
That's what's on the application.
Okay.
So
That's good.
it's empty. It's empty.
I mean,
Is it?
I used to live in 568 Flatbush. I live in 568 Flatbush for like 15 years. 568 is like an empty lot. I don't know who would use
Is
that.
that applicant here? Is
Oh,
a
do we have
representative?
the representatives with us?
Yes, maybe they can answer.
Are they here? Are you guys here?
Mia, are you aware of anybody who joined from, what is the name of this application, Chair Charles?
This is Best Development New York LLC.
Best or West? Sorry.
Best, yeah, Best. BSB.
560.
Is anybody here from Best Development? Because if not, we're not.
Miss Lori Denman. Lori Denman or anyone else representing the application?
Well,
there goes that.
I mean,
I hope that you will establish a process that if they
That's
don't
good.
bother showing up, they should not get our approval.
that has always been our process for SLA, and Sheriff Charles, it is your choice, but in the past, we have not voted on applications that do not have a representative here.
Yeah, so I agree. I don't think that we should vote on this application.
Thank you.
So we can go ahead with voting on Flatbush Exotic.
Thank you. Thank
So I'm
you.
gonna-
Why you crossed the line first?
I'm gonna start the roll call over again. Kavi,
Abstain.
Israel,
I vote yes. I was a little hesitant at first, but I think that they're going to be a fine establishment in the community.
Zlati.
Can I just say that you know
Sorry,
you haven't
sorry,
heard you haven't heard a possibly competing application, and there have been reports of illegality at this location to OCM and to this community board over 6 months ago.
That's important. That's important. That's very important.
I have written emails to this community board that we have reported this chain for illegal activity at 3 locations.
Out of order.
Yeah, can we just call for some order? I will.
Right. Suki,
You need to consider that, and you need to consider that there is another application within 200 feet which has not been operating illegally before you vote.
Suki, I understand what you're saying, but it's the applicant's responsibility to show up here and do their due diligence.
Nevertheless, you can table before you vote.
I think that I have to agree with Suki. If there has been complaints, it's just like a liquor license. If there's we need to know about those complaints. I mean, I was concerned about the fact that one of your members actually saw people congregating, and the applicant's response is, "I only have my little box. I'm not going to care about anything else." Well, that concerns me.
There have
I
been
think-
complaints of sales to minors at this location.
Never, we never
As
had. That is
someone
not true.
noted, they were
We never
advertising
have. They should have
THC.
raided us.
I think
We never had no cops
Several
on top.
complaints
Never
also.
done
I've
that.
heard several
Right.
We
complaints
never had
also.
nothing of that.
Let's call
Excuse me.
let's call for order so that we're not all yelling over each other because it's not accomplishing anything. So first of all, let's all take a second. Suki, I hear your comments. I
there
would
have
also
been
just-
written complaints
Hey.
to OCM several months ago. Multiple complaints from multiple neighbors.
Excuse
That
me.
you wrote
Multiple
and you wanted
locations.
people to go and
This
sign against
actor
it.
And
has
The
an
applicant.
issue.
Point of
The
order.
applicant, thank you. Yes,
Order.
the applicant, we'll ask that you wait until folks are done speaking to respond, okay? There's a process to all of this, and then, yes, Suki, you wrote an email to the community board, but we're not OCM, we don't have those complaints. What we can do, I suppose, is reach out to OCM and ask for a record of complaint. However, I will say OCM has not been terribly responsive recently. So that
I
might
would reach out to
That's-
OCM. Sorry to interject, Primo, but I will investigate and reach out to OCM. And I want to, and basically find out if those complaints are in connection with people not knowing they had a hemp license as well, in all fairness. Because there were people who were not aware that they actually had a hemp license.
There
and
have
they
been
had the
complaints of
ability-
sales to minors.
Please don't speak over me. So that will be done, and that will be investigated, and I'll reach out to the 71st precinct as well.
Okay.
So the committee can move forward conditionally on the contention of the board office confirming the complaints and the response to the complaints. If there are sales to minors, that is something that will be brought forth at the general board and made public to the membership prior to their vote.
Thank
But
you
it's
for
on the
suggesting.
determining now if the application forward or table it. Thank you.
Excuse me.
Suki, do you have proof?
We
Excuse me.
certainly have written emails to OCM and to all of the elected officials, yes.
Oh,
Excuse me.
And yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anymore.
Thank you, Suki.
But I think that for this location and this application, I would recommend that you decide it in a business session at another meeting without any of the applicants present.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
It's a violation of the open meetings law.
Thank you, Ms. Boyd.
Definitely can't do that.
And I just want to recognize that Zhang has been patiently waiting and has their hand raised. Zhang, would you like to share thoughts at this point? And Chair Charles, all yours as well.
Thank you, Primo. In light of the information that Suki just gave us, I motion, because I'm a resident member of this actual community board, I motion to stop this vote on this application until Suki's allegation is investigated and either confirmed or confirmed true or confirmed untrue. So I motion this board for that right now. Can I get a second, please?
Place a motion.
I second that.
I'm sorry, who was that? Oh, Kavi?
That's
Okay.
Javi Cohen. I second that
I
motion.
second that too.
Okay. I just want to say that it is important, right, that we are respecting everyone and not speaking over people when they have the floor to speak. We are all respectful adults, and I ask that we conduct ourselves as such. With that being said, I also second that. We, look into everything. Oh, Primo, did you have some? No. Okay.
I was going to say the applicant has their hand raised. There is a motion on the floor that's already been seconded. So, I mean, that is what it is. But if we want to let them speak
Okay.
after.
Yeah, yes. You
Can
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 go
I
ahead.
speak?
Yes.
Okay, the Suki talking about the Fenimore location. I'm not applying for the license for the Fenimore location. I'm applying for the license for 544. We have never got raided by the cops. We have never gotten no citations. We have never gotten caught to selling to minors. We have never had any of these issues. The only issue I have is an Asian lady going around the block telling people about how I'm a bad person, and we trying to do a lot of stuff. And that was the only issue I have. And I got videos to prove and back up what I said of That same person popping people tires and going around talking about other people that have nothing to do with them. We've been licensed, and I could prove to the community board that since the first day that location in Fenimore has been open, it's been licensed and have hemp license, and we never sold no vapes, we never sold no tobacco, we never sold to no minors, because I know that for a fact. That's how people lose their businesses. So if I never got a citation from the city for selling to a minor, I've never got nothing of that, happening to me. I don't understand where is this coming from. I think that my issue being in that neighborhood is my skin complexion and who I am. Because hold on, I have proof of the same person that's talking harassing me. I have
Mr.
proof
Kasim?
that same person that's talking been harassing me in my businesses since I moved there. So however y'all want to do and take it, however we got to do, I could prove myself, and I could prove that my stores never got cited for nothing that has to do with minor or nothing that have to do with vape or people.
Thank you, Mr. Kasim. We will be looking into this and appreciate your comments. Thank you for sharing your experience, and know that there is a process to this where we'll simply look into whether there are citations or not. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Zhang, I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, I was just confused. Why did Mr. Kasim mention the individual's race? I think that was highly inappropriate. I mean, as all of us, we have the right to address grievances if we feel that something is pertinent to us, affect us. We have the right to advocate for ourselves, for our communities. I just want to put it on the record that I think it was highly inappropriate for Mr. Kasim, in addressing or denying the grievance, to address
I apologize, and I'm sorry if it came out the wrong way.
Okay, thank you.
And your objection is noted for the record, Zhang. Thank you for sharing that as well, and thank you for the apology, Mr. Kasim.
Rod, I see you have your hand up. You can go ahead, and then I think that we should move on.
This will be quick. I mean, I just have to echo what Zhang said. He just took the thunder from me. An allegation was brought up, and it has to be investigated.
Yes.
Right. That does not mean that your application is denied. Just that we cannot ignore an allegation that was brought up. And second, there is no room in this public forum for the comments that you just made. Okay, so I just want to put that on the record. I believe in a process. I believe in a process, and the process has to be followed. You are now part of that process, and it is what it is. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rod. So, Mr. Kasim, thank you for showing up and, speaking about your business. As we all have mentioned, this is something that we have to discuss and look into further.
Sure.
So Mia will be in touch with you regarding what the next steps will be. But thank you for showing up.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And is it also a place that we could send to them the emails that we get from people sending us emails, and because right now they assuming that I'm in the wrong.
You're in contact with Mia. I would suggest that you continue to send your any documentation you would like to the community board office email address.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So I'm sorry. Point of order, do we now still have a motion on the floor?
No, the motion was already passed. The motion that I said was already passed.
She didn't state that. She didn't say that the motion had passed.
I did say that the motion was passed.
Oh, I didn't hear it. I'm sorry. I apologize. So the motion passed for you to table this decision?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay,
We
thank
will
you.
be voting on this application.
Okay,
Nice.
thank you.
Okay. So next on the agenda, we were going to discuss some public safety community engagements for the spring. But I suggested we table that for our next meeting, given the time, and we go straight to any, discussing any old business that anyone wants to speak about, as you mentioned in the beginning of the meeting. So at this time, I'm opening up the floor. If you have a question or concern, please feel free to speak. Alicia, I see you have your hand up, so you can go ahead.
Yes, I'm really concerned about 770 Eastern Parkway. There was a tunnel that ran for an entire block. And a lot of people have expressed concern because, you know, infrastructure.
What does this have to do? What does this have to do with public safety?
That's exactly, if you would let me speak, sir. Thank you.
I feel like
If
I
you-
feel like this
I'm
meeting's been
about
going
to
on for
explain
2.5
that. Please,
hours.
can I?
You've been
Can I?
interrupting. You've been interrupting every single time. You didn't. I feel like you're almost.
Point of
are you
order,
the chair of this board?
Mr. Lehrer, at least Miss Boyd has the floor. It is her turn to speak. If you would like to raise your hand
Why
and
don't you sit in the chair?
offer comments afterwards.
Because your back is there.
Okay, there's been a lot of concern because people's homes are underneath there. There needs to possibly be an inspection, an engineer's inspection, to make sure that, people's homes are safe and the community is safe, because there's been this unlawful tunneling and this was all over the papers, was all over the news, it was all over Facebook. So this is not something that's hidden. And I'm wondering, is safety, public safety, because we're talking about public safety, right? Will be handling this issue.
Thanks for your comments, Ms. Boyd.
It's a question, sir. It's a question
Okay.
that I have to the chair.
Pointing it back to Miss Charles.
Yes, so Ms. Boyd, I don't know how to answer your question, right? This is something that literally just happened, and it's bigger than all of us. So I'm not too sure if the district office has any insight on exactly what happened, or I guess how the community can be involved in voicing our concerns when it comes to this. So that is what I will say.
My suggestion might also be to just touch base with FDNY, with NYPD, to see if there's any pertinent information that can be shared with the board office. The next step.
I see, Kavi, you have your hand up. You can go ahead.
Yes, I would just like to comment that the NYPD is very much involved in this. The building department has been there several times. Representatives from the building department have been there several times. They've been there on Wednesday. They were there on Wednesday again. There's constant inspections. Above that tunnel is a synagogue. It's not residences, it's a synagogue. So the real question is the safety of the synagogue, and the representatives of the synagogue are in touch with the police department and with the buildings department. And this is definitely something that's being closely watched. And since, as was mentioned, that the police, that newspapers picked up this story, the building department has been extremely active, as have the police department. This is not
Which needs to be shut down.
that hasn't been very much investigated. So I really think that this is not something that nobody has been taken care of, and the community board now has to say, oh my God, how come no one is taking care of this? It's being very much closely observed and is constantly being work done on it, inspections being done on it, and the police are very much involved. And once again, as I said, the building department is very, very much involved in this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kavi. Rod, I see you have your hand up. You can go ahead.
I'm sorry, it was up from prior. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay, yeah, no worries at all. Maxine?
Yes, I'm concerned about the application for Bijou Brooklyn, 1017 Nostrand Avenue, going directly to the State Liquor Authority without this committee voting on it. I would like this committee to formally vote on, at least comment that there was missing information on the application. To be specific, Bar Bayou at 1066 Nostrand Avenue, that includes live music, was absent from the application. 2, Gruet by Abe's, 252 Empire Boulevard, Rogers Avenue Southwest was missing from the application as well as the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Gethsemane at 357 Empire Boulevard, steps from Brooklyn Bayou at 1017. So again, formally, I would like the committee, although absent quorum in the last meeting, to formally give their, I hope, disapproval to the application and that it was missing information. Could you put a motion? How would that, I'm not sure of the point of order, if you will.
It's an interesting question. I would, so just, thank you, Ms. Barnes, for your comments. So I'd say just a few things. First, a letter has already gone to the SLA. What we could do is, and again, that is Fred, and Fred is saying, come to me if you have questions about it. So Ms. Barnes, I would say, feel empowered to reach out to the community office to Fred. And then Chair Charles, what you could do, in seeing as they've already communicated with the SLA, would be to offer a vote now or in the future to investigate first of all these claims. So you want to look into it first, and second, you may want to send a notice of some sort to the SLA if verified.
Do you need the locations again?
We have them. We have them. I will say, Ms. Barnes, like we have taken a look at those, so it's not actually in violation of the 500-foot rule because there's not three.
Exactly. So you agree, Primo. And again, formally, I want this committee, the Public Safety Committee, to step up and address it. Say, yes, it was not put on the application. It bothers me that it's going straight to the State Liquor Authority without the Public Safety Committee chiming in.
So correct me if I'm wrong, Mia, but the application doesn't ask you to list businesses around you. It asks you whether you were in violation of the rule. And they clicked the box that they were not in violation of the rule, which does appear to be true.
That is correct. When they submit the application to the SLA runs the LAMP map that identifies any active or pending licenses in the area. In the instance that you are triggering the 500-foot rule, there is a hearing that they schedule for that given or proposed license for them to come before the SLA and justify why they would be relevant and what they would bring to an area that would set them apart from what is already in place. And those notices come to us automatically from the SLA, and we have not received any of those to date.
Well, I thought that on the application that you do list, the applicant did list
No, the applicant's job is not to list the active licenses because some of them they do not know. The SLA's job is when they receive a prospective license application is to identify what's already active on their grid around them. And if they do trigger that 500-foot rule, to call them into that hearing to justify why them coming into that space would set them apart and what differently they would provide than what the other businesses are already offering to the community. And those notices are automatically come from the state. And
I
BK9
understand what you're saying. And so you're saying, but to me, it's unprecedented that the committee doesn't even chime in to give their approval or disapproval.
I understand what you're saying, but what I'm telling you is technically they have not triggered any 500-foot rule because the state would have made the board aware. Because when they do provide those notices, they ask if we would like to participate. They give us the meet the hearing information.
Well, I don't tend to just go by what, again, I live here, I've been here 40 years. And it looks like
technical facts.
Well, again, Gethsemane Church is like steps away. There's a live liquor, there's a dispensary, a bar with live music on the next corner. There are 2 liquor stores. They're directly next to an illegal smoke dispensary. But again, so you're saying that the committee stands by their decision and the State Liquor Authority has already determined that they are not in violation.
Oh, what I'm saying is that we have not received the notice that they're in violation of the 500-foot rule, and we
Oh,
would have
okay,
received.
as of yet. Okay, but again, I would, I don't see it's a problem. All right, I'm
Which-
not gonna talk over you, but I would certainly formally like the Public Safety Committee to address it.
Understood. Thank you, Ms. Barnes.
Thank you, Ms. Barnes. Teresa, I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, hi. I have a similar question related to the licenses so the applicants that came last month before the for their SLA licenses before the committee, they were not voted on because you didn't have quorum, I understand. And then they went before the executive board, and then they went before the general board, and the general board did not have quorum, so they were not voted on. And I do know that those applicants were all there, and people putting a lot of heart and soul into their businesses. But at the same time, there needs to be due diligence. And I feel like some of those applicants, it was clear yeses, and some were like, what's going on here? They needed to come back and fix some things. And I believe this was one of them. And that didn't happen, that Fred was able to just streamline them without the questions being answered on, I think, one or two of the applicants. Doesn't seem okay to me. And it doesn't seem like we're doing due diligence on behalf of our community by letting that happen. I'm alarmed, frankly, that happened. So, while I don't want to have to stick around and do the extra time with the voting in here and go through the applicants again, I just really question that happening, and I'm worried, and I don't like it. And I don't know if we could write a letter to SLA about it or how that should happen. But I'm concerned, and I don't want that to happen again. And I think any of those that had questions should have come back. Fred shouldn't have been able to do that. It's not okay. And the other thing I have is the tunnel thing. Thank you for telling us a bit about what's going on. I think Javi said that, but could maybe somebody could give a report at the general board meeting, like Fred or Dante, I don't know, just somebody give a report. And I think there's more. It's like, I think that the organizations are taking care of whatever happened, but I've seen some very frightening things in the media, and I'm frankly, afraid for the community, of what may be happening in the weeks to come. I'm worried, like, not so much for the collapse, but of people coming into our community and anti-Semitism. I'm very worried about that. So I don't know how to combat that, but it's worrisome. So thank you for listening to me.
Thanks, Teresa. Sang, I see you have your hand up. You can go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Given to build on what Teresa said, and further Ms. Boyd, the event with the synagogue was a huge thing. NYPD got involved. It was all over the news, etc. So I believe, as the Public Safety Committee for Community Board 9, I would like to request that we ask the NYPD to give us a full detailed report that we can share with the community. So therefore, I motion to request that the NYPD give us a full report of their investigation, so we could be able to, cover our tails and have information to share with the community, seeing that we're the Community Board for Public Safety. May I please get a second on that motion?
I second it.
I don't think you can second it, Rod, because I don't know if you're part of this community board per se, but it has to be seconded by somebody else.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Then I will be the third. I'll third it.
Rod is a member. Rod, you are a community board member, correct? Yes.
That is correct, sir.
Okay,
but
so
he's not
for clarification.
I'm not a committee member.
Exactly.
I'm a community board member.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
But it's okay. I mean, I'll go after Ron. If Ron wants to second it, I'll third it. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Just
So
for
there's a
just for the
motion on the
record.
floor.
There's a
Okay,
motion
just
on the
for
floor, yes.
okay.
So you would have to now vote on that motion. Janelle, you may just want to call through the motion that was just called by Zhang.
Yeah, so at this point, do I just call committee members?
Yeah.
So-
Mia, do we still have a quorum? Can you just check really quickly? I think we do. I think we still have all the members.
Okay, I'll just call everyone's name.
Okay.
Coffee,
I'm not sure what the motion is, so I would have to have clarification what the motion is.
yeah, so Zhang, if you can just go through the motion again, that would be awesome.
Yes, ma'am. I motion for the community board for public safety to request that a report be given to us by the NYPD, a detailed report of their investigation into the synagogue. What happened? Who was involved? Just anything in their public records that pertains to the synagogue. So we as a community board could be enlightened on the public safety aspect of such a big event, so we can be able to share with anyone who comes to us.
Thank you. Okay, so Javi,
Yeah, I'm past. You can come back to me.
okay. Are you abstaining or are you voting no?
I think she's just waiting, asking to
Waiting.
be
Okay, she's waiting.
be come back to, yeah.
Okay, Israel?
Yes.
Okay, Zlati?
I'm gonna say yes, and also the building is closed. The cops are all over there and they won't open until the Department of Buildings gives the okay, so everybody can sleep calmly.
Carmen?
Carmen's no longer here.
No one here. Zhang? Well, can he vote to his motion?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, yes, okay. And then
I
Ronald.
vote yes.
Yeah, yes.
So the motion is approved.
Okay.
Oh,
Is that
what did Kavi vote?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you have
sorry.
to, I think you have to come back to me in order to approve
You're
that.
correct.
Janelle. So I'm gonna vote yes also for it, please.
Okay, great. So now the
I
vote.
want to thank you guys. Thank you.
Okay, great. So with that being said, that we were taking our last question from Zhang. Just want to be aware of the time. It is 9:37. I move a motion to adjourn this meeting. Do I have a second?
I second the
I
motion.
second.
Great.
And I just want to say, Madam Chair, you did a great job. I do appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you all for your grace.
Thank
hope
you,
every-
everyone. Great
Good night,
job.
everyone.
Yeah.
Good
Thank
job.
you, Primo.
And thank
Thanks
you,
for
Primo, for showing up and helping and supporting
Yes.
running of this meeting. It's really appreciated. It has not been missed.
It has not been missed?
No, I mean, the fact that you come to
Oh,
the,
I see. I see.
we didn't
No,
miss
I got
that. We didn't miss
Oh, I
that.
got you. I thought you said,
No,
I
no.
got you. You took it the other
We
way.
did not miss the fact that you're here and you're not a member, but you took your time to come and help the committee.
Thank you. And thank you for your participation.
Yeah, a true
Really-
executive move. Thank you.
Yes.
Take care, everyone. Have a good
Thank
one.
you,
Okay,
guys. Thanks for showing
bye.
up.
Have a good night,
Good night,
everyone.
everyone.
Miss
Good night.
Miss
Take care,
Hilton.
everyone.
Miss Hilton and Miss Bailey
Yes,
Charles,
hey,
just
Zhang.
a heads up. Just because this meeting was a lot longer than the other meetings, it's just gonna take me a bit long to submit the minutes. So just expect about tomorrow afternoon
It's
instead
okay,
of tomorrow.
Zhang.
All right, cool. Bye. Y'all
It's
have a good
fine.
day.
Thank you, Zhang. Have a good night. And congratulations. I forgot to say.
Oh,
Good night.
thank you
Take
so
care.
much. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Zane. Congratulations.
All right.
Welcome
Thank
to the
you, thank you.
sleepless nights. Have fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Take care, guys.